There's a big fat one, a skinny one, and a medium-sized one.
I love Formula Drift.
No stranger to drifting, no stranger to competition.
That guy stole my freaking ratchet wrench. I see that. That's mine.
He rejects your reality and inserted his own.
This is a stimulator, right?
Pilot. The pole petition.
Matt Shulman is still on top with the 69.
Poured ATF down there. 2 days goes by, still nothing. Put some. I just already have ATF fluid down there. It's dripping on the floor, stinking up the garage, and so it's working.
We got it.
All right,
Sweet.
we got it. Good.
All right, now start all over again.
Start all over again. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
all over.
Okay, so you guys lost the sound. Hopefully, well, I don't know if there's
Well, we
anybody
got
watching
sound now.
this.
Yeah,
Is
we
anybody
got-
even watching?
Yeah, it was 3 people saying.
Oh,
no
3 people.
sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me start over again. Ask the question again, please.
Yeah, what you been up to, Tim?
So
Any
what I-
updates?
Yes. So my updates are the headache and the nightmare, well, almost nightmare that I thought I was gonna have to face with my engine. Went to go put the timing belt on. The motor's been sitting in the car for 6-7 years now. As long as I've been married.
There was a
pretty much.
lizard inside.
There was a lizard inside. All kinds of stuff going inside that engine, and
You
I
weren't-
couldn't rotate the crank to get the timing to line the timing
which
marks
is
up,
scary.
which was scary. And then Chris was like, "Oh, well, maybe it's hitting the valves." Is like 1J's is a no clearance motor, a non-interference motor.
Is
So
it?
it should,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it is. So he's like, "Okay, well, put ATF down there." I mean, I was standing on thing, I was cranking on as hard as I was standing on the bar. I had
Oh
a
my
jack
God.
underneath, pushing the front of the car was almost coming up. It just wasn't turning. So I took the transmission off, thinking maybe it was locked somehow.
Somebody
When
put a
Chris's guys,
self-tapper.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone put something in there, and Chris's guys put it together. I don't know. Maybe they put a bolt in. I don't know. So I took it all off. Everything was fine
That's
on
a
the
thing.
on the transmission side. So I was like, okay, well that's kind of good, to know.
Yeah.
That relieved that aspect of it, and everything looked like it was bolted together well. So that's gonna be nice. I was kind of curious on what was gonna happen when I started the car. Is that all together? Anyhow, still nothing. 2 days with ATF down each cylinder. I poured some ATF in each cylinder. 2 days, tried again. Then that wasn't working. So I was like, what the hell? I'll just put some seafoam in there too. So I have like a concoction, like a seafoam and
God.
ATF in each cylinder, just trying to get it to hopefully just try to free up those rings so I can get it to loosen up. 2 days go by. A week later, still that sucker's locked. So I was like, okay. I told Chris, I was like, I'm about to pull the motor out and bring it to you. And he's like, yeah, bring it over. We'll hone it and I'll re-ring it. And I'm like, like I was almost done. Like only thing left I had to do was do the oil cooler and the coolant lines, and that was it. I could put everything together.
Yeah,
and
the
have
motor
Brandon
definitely
come-
spin before.
Yes, it definitely spun before. I was there when he got it.
Okay.
It definitely spun before.
Okay.
So anyhow, I was like, okay, this is my last thing I'm going to do. I'm thinking in my head, how can I try to jar this thing loose to get to free up without damaging the cylinders? I was like, wooden dowels.
Wooden dowels.
Wooden dowels.
What did you do?
So if you go to Home Depot, they sell dowel rod. Dowel rod is if you ever make
You were punching the piston down?
Shh.
Oh my God.
Shut your mouth. Well, but I was like, okay, I'll
Okay.
get some wooden dowel rods. They're like 12 inches long, and I got 1/2 inch because I wasn't sure what size. I want to get the thickest one as possible. So I got 1/2 inch and 3/8. 1/2 inch didn't go down the hole. 3/8 did. So I put a dowel rod in each cylinder, and I just started going with the mallet, just lightly tapping, boom, 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 like for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it started to move. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
okay, boom, 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 and then I got
really?
the spin. Yep. So I got it to spin. So
Did you check the inside to see the walls are
Doesn't
scratched
matter.
up?
doesn't matter. We'll see when we start it up.
Oh my God. I don't know why
We'll see
you would
what's
want to
there.
get that far.
Nah, well, I don't know. Anyways,
Just take the head
we'll
off.
see. Well, I was talking to Chris. Chris is like, yeah, I had water in my engine and it locked up and I got it to free up. It was fine. I was like, okay, we're going to go with it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Hey, worst case scenario, I get the car running and it moves around and I pull the motor out and have it re-ring then. But I just want to get it started and get everything going. Probably not a good thing to do. I probably should pull it up, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward.
Push the rocks and
Push it,
debris
yeah. I mean,
into the walls.
I got everything. I got the Mechman alternator. I got the underdrive fluidine. Fluidine.
What are you talking about? The damper?
The dampener pulley. I got everything. And then Chris ordered my water lines to go from the radiator to from the trunk to the front. I found a way to. I'm basically gonna. I found. I cut the water neck, the upper water neck for my for the coolant system, and made a flange. And so basically, I cut everything else except for like the flange, and then trimmed it with the sander and my what do they call it? freaking saw. Yeah.
A
My brain-
bandsaw?
Bandsaw. There we
God,
go. The one with the band on it and the
He
saws.
sounds like he's been
Yes.
bandsawing his brain
It's
apart.
been a rough week. It's been a rough
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
sound
So
like it's real
anyhow,
rough.
I got that, and then I ordered some pipe. I'm gonna make my own my upper water pipe that has the it's gonna have a little reservoir with a radiator cap, so I can bleed the engine.
Yeah.
And then I'll weld on the 16 AN fitting for the water line.
Yeah.
And I took the diff out, and this was another thing. So I took the diff out because I ordered a spool.
Yeah.
So I got a spool. It's a
Well,
strange.
you have
strange.
the Ford 8.8.
I had a 48.8 RRS rear end, the diff in there. Chris fabbed up the rear end, and I pulled the diff out because I had to swap over to 330i trailing arms, and because that's Seems Legit makes a kit that has the inner and outer stub axles for the diff and for the trailing arms, and then they sell the upgraded axle. So I ordered that this week. I thought you were gonna say something. No,
You said you got the spool. Did you get new gears? Or
no,
you
I'm gonna
just-
keep the same gear because it's a 373, and
Okay.
on that 373 felt good on the Z, so I had the same transmission.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it should be fine. So I ordered a spool. I took the diff out, and a diff. It's been sitting so long. When I pulled the cover off, it looked like somebody poured roofing tar inside of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I had to clean that out. So I cleaned that out today. I got that all cleaned up. I'm gonna put the spool in this weekend. Put the diff back together. Seems Legit Garage. They make, like I said, they make they actually make the conversion kit with the
make
rear end and
whole
everything.
sub,
The whole subframe and
yeah.
everything. But I just got the axles. I got the upgraded axles. It was like almost $3,000
Yeah.
just for the axles and the stub axles and the axles. But the cool thing is, I'd originally had a set of dual brake caliper brackets for the rear for the 325i, the 323i. The 330i have different size trailing arms. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to sell these and then order new ones. So when I ordered the axle, I was like, hey, by the way, I had bought these before I planned on doing the diff conversion. They never been mounted. Would you swap them out? And the guy was like, yeah, man, just send them to us, and I'll send you ones for the trailer.
that's
So
cool.
that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So I appreciate Seems Legit Garage for doing that for me, because they didn't have to. They could charge a restocking fee, or no, we don't do returns, whatever. Because I bought them a while ago.
Yeah.
And but that's cool. And then so the Seems Legit Garage stuff is coming, and all my 135i BMW brake caliper upgrade is in there. So I have M3 rotors in the rear and all new brake calipers. It's coming along pretty good. So I'll have by hopefully mid next week, if I get some time, and everything comes in tomorrow from Seems Legit, I'll have the rear end completely done, which was something that was weighing on my mind pretty heavily, because I was always worried about the axle, and I probably could have saved a lot of money if I would have sourced the axles locally.
Yeah, but that's why I was trying to say buy the axles, because that's going to be the most difficult part.
And it's done. There's
and
no
it's just
thinking.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
I have the stub axles for the inside
And
and,
they're
the outside.
they're pretty beefy anyways.
Well, I got the
they're-
upgraded ones. I
yeah,
got the
so-
outlaw axles.
So yeah, you're never going to break them.
Yeah, so I did the axle upgrade. Now I'm just putting everything back together. The only thing I still need that I don't have, or one, the water lines, but Chris should have those soon. Jackson will order those for me. So I should have the water lines. If you go there tomorrow, see if he's got them.
Okay.
And the only other thing there were two other things I need. I need a wastegate, and I need, if anybody has a wastegate 44, 45 millimeter that they're looking to sell on the low, let me know. I need that. And then I need, for when I exchange the power steering pump, there is like a fitting that goes on the power steering pump, so you can screw in the power steering line.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it off the old pump when I traded it in.
Oh.
So I got to go to the junkyard and find that fitting on a power steering pump, and get a new power steering pump bracket, because my power steering pump mounting bracket is bent.
Is the 2Js the same?
Yeah, 2Js the same.
Oh, so there's mountain
right.
2Js.
Yeah, so I just got to get the
There's
mount.
a bunch of GS 300s over there.
Yeah, well, there isn't now. I went there today. There was none.
There was none?
There was one, but the power steering pump was gone.
Really?
There was a bunch the other day, last time I was there,
Yeah.
but they moved,
They
they switched
cleared
it
them
out.
out?
Yeah, so I went
Oh,
online,
shit.
I looked up, and they didn't have it in stock.
I'll let you know. I get alerts when they hit the yard.
Okay,
so
let me know,
next time
'cause
a GS 300 hits the yard, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I need the bracket. So I need the bracket, and I need the fitting that goes on the outlet of the power steering pump. So I need those two things, and Brandon's gonna have to get his butt over here soon so he can wire it up, and we can fire it up, wire it and fire it.
Let me ask
Wire
you
it and
something.
fire it. I like the way it sounds. That's pretty cool. Wire it and fire it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You posted up something on our Drift Sessions account that I wanted to actually talk to you about because I was actually surprised by the amount of feedback that it acquired, which I wasn't expecting. So tell us a little bit about this post.
okay. So what was going on here is this was 2 days ago, I think, right? And I had purchased a sandblasting gun with a hopper and a hose and the sandblasting media because I was going to sandblast the trailing arms before I put them in, and I was just like, I don't have the patience for that. I'm just going to freaking throw them in the car, which I did. I went to go return everything, and I'm returning my items at Harbor Freight, and I'm sitting there waiting for the guy to do the paperwork. I look over to the right. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
You saw it before?
Oh, I'm always in Harbor Freight. So yeah,
Yeah, but it's not. I didn't see.
You know
I don't ever look for sockets though.
You know what's funny
it's
about
by the cashier?
You know what's cool about Harbor Freight now is they're really like targeting like mechanics. Like
Yeah.
with this, I mean, come on, it's like a perfect joke.
Right, but no.
But you need that.
You know, people didn't even know that. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, they are the only ones that sell it, I think.
Right. Okay. So it's not a shock to him. It was a shock to me.
Well,
Okay.
so if somebody that visits Harbor Freight a lot, I mean, I have a Harbor Freight right next to work, so I go there.
Oh, that's why. Yeah,
all the time.
I go maybe like
And it's
once.
a brand new one, so super clean.
Yeah, I go like once a month, maybe. If
Yeah,
that.
no.
But anyhow, I was shocked. So I was like, I gotta take a picture of this. I mean, it's whatever you always see the memes, right? The 10mm can't find
Yeah.
my 10mm socket keychains in case you lose it. You have one.
Yeah.
Well, you found one at King of OSW. Somebody
Yes,
did.
that's right. That's right.
because
Yeah.
somebody's always losing them.
Right.
You're always losing your 10mm.
Which he lost that one. Yeah, and I got it. That was the next one I had. But I have a BMW, so doesn't really help me too much because on my car I'm everything mostly 11mm and 13mm.
Okay.
but
Deutschland.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna like auction this off or something?
No, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it because I don't.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
I have plenty of 10mm.
Oh,
Like I said,
okay.
I work on mostly BMW, so it's mostly 11mm, 13mm. It's not 10mm.
All right.
Yeah, 8mm.
Japanese cars.
Yeah, that's a Japanese car. Definitely, if you the Nissan.
Yeah. My car's got a
Toyota.
lot of 10 mils on it.
Yeah,
And a lot
even
of
on the
12s
JZ.
and 14s.
On the JZ, every bolt that I swapped it over to 13mm bolts. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of weird. I bought a lot of special bolts for this as I've been building it because I want everything to be either 11, 13, some are 10. You know, some, but most of it is going to be the things I need to take off are going to be like that 11, 13 size. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was like,
That's
I gotta
really
take
cool.
a picture of this because I don't know who else knows about this. And it actually got a lot of traction. I was actually surprised to see Colette Davis was like, "Hey,
Yeah, that's cool.
that's I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. That was pretty cool."
Yeah, I was so surprised too. Like JMF64 was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't even know this was available.
Right, I know.
So I guess it's something
Somebody
that
thought I was joking. I was like, "Is this legit?" I was like, "Yeah, man, it's legit. Go grab one." I was thinking about doing is I was gonna get because Jackson got a new shop and he's probably not gonna watch this, so it's fine. But I was gonna get a fire extinguisher, like break glass in case of emergency, and then buy that and put it inside of it.
Oh,
It'd
that'd
be
be
like
good.
a new shop gift for him. And
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, an emergency
Yeah, in
break
case of
glass.
emergency, break
Yeah,
glass.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be a 10 to 10 mm socket set. So I'll probably do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Next couple weeks as like a housewarming gift for his new shop. But yeah. But otherwise, with the car, yeah, everything's coming along.
That's
Pretty
good news.
It's a lot of work ahead because I got to put the transmission back together. I still have to figure out the sizes of the brake lines for the rear TM together to put them in the master because I'm going boosterless with just pedal set.
This one has a internal slave, right?
What do you mean? Oh,
It's
yes.
like-
Yeah, the
You
transmission.
make sure it works.
It's brand new.
Okay.
Well,
It's
Was
new-ish.
Before you
brand
put the
new. 6
transmission.
years ago, it was brand new.
Yeah, before you put the
No,
transmission.
it's all slides. It seems like it's
Yeah.
good. I'd have to bleed it while it's out. I guess I could bleed it while it's out. Might not be a bad idea.
I would check it.
Yeah. Well, that might be something I'm doing before I put the transmission in.
Oh boy.
One thing that's pretty cool though is that the line is long enough to where I could drop the transmission on the ground and I don't have to disconnect the line.
Yeah, but it still sucks to have to go change that damn thing.
Yeah, it wasn't easy pulling that transmission. It's tight in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have you put all that thing together and you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
My clutch doesn't go.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's
yeah.
that's what's going on with me in the
Yeah.
car.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on, and we're gonna talk about. Just mention that upcoming events. We have the OSW. They're gonna have a class qualifier on January 14th.
Yeah,
is that?
they have that. So basically, everybody's broken into classes. I think they would have B or C, B, A. Don't they have like a lot of classes?
They should do it like you ever watch Top Gear? Like when it was Top Gear before they became
Before,
it came Grand Tour.
Grand Tour.
yeah,
They did the thing where they made their own train.
their own train.
You didn't see that?
I saw that.
I
So they
remember
made their own
they
train.
made
So
their
they
own
had like first class,
Oh no,
and then they had like coach class.
Oh, really?
And then Jeremy Clarkson was in charge of the last one. He called it scum class. So they should do that for that. Probably people be offended.
yeah, no. So they run like a class qualifier, even though they don't really stick to it. I think at one point they were sticking to it, but now they're more like open to letting people tandem on the skid pad, even if you are a B or an A driver.
Is that you think that's to let the more seat time?
I think it's if you're new, probably you want to do it and just see where you're at, or maybe just want to kind of get an idea. But basically, I guess they kind of assess your driving, and rank you there.
I wonder if it's gonna be tech requirements to tandem.
I don't think so. Because they let me tandem, and I never did the class
Oh,
qualifier,
that's true. Yeah.
and they let me tandem, so
Yeah. Well, you're
So.
special, Paul.
they didn't know who I was.
They didn't know who you were.
No, I have no idea.
They
Nobody
don't-
knows. Who I
Well,
am.
they do now with all the fires that you put out.
Yeah.
Still don't know who I am.
They do.
Mystery
Oh,
man.
you're the guy that blew the engine.
Yeah,
on
you're the
on
guy with the oil.
With the oil.
You're the guy that put the oil all over the damn track.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, and then you have that event coming up, and then what else?
Well, then we also have Fuel Fest making a
Ah.
return for this year at West Palm Beach.
And a much better time of year. I think last year was like in July, right?
No.
It was in February last year.
It was pretty early.
It was
Was
pretty
it?
early in the year. Yeah.
Really? I thought it was in like May or July.
I don't
June.
know. I know.
Pretty sure.
It was before.
I can
I'll
find out.
check.
Was it after round one of Clutch Kickers?
I don't remember now that you
Now you
mention
got
it,
'em all.
but
Miscombobulated.
but yeah, I can find out for you. But they're gonna be back and they're gonna be doing their thing again. We still don't know yet. But we gotta look at our schedule to see if we're gonna be able to make it to the event. But if everything works out, we shall be making an appearance.
I mean, I think I could say we're going to be there. Pretty confident because one way or another, we're going to find our way in there.
Okay,
One way or another, we're going to find our way in there, and we're going to cover the event, cover the drifting, cover the car show, and just have a good time there. Hopefully,
Okay.
Paul will get his car done.
Yeah, I hope to God.
February 26, 2022.
Yeah, see, so
That's
it was
when
the
it
same,
happened.
same weekend.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
really.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. that
I figured this out by
Man.
going on their page and looking at the live stream when that event that took place, and I see that it's February 26, 2022.
there you go.
Really?
So
Interesting.
deal
More
with
you know.
that, Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in your face.
My face. Yeah, no, try to drive. I want to crash into Gabriel's door.
Oh,
So that's
you wanna
my-
get
that's
all
my
in his
goal.
garbanzo beans.
Yeah, I want to smash his garbanzo
Make some
beans.
hummus.
I want to make some hummus on his door.
Well, you have a thing of signing up for events and then hoping that it's going to motivate you to get the car
then you get
together to
motivated.
be able.
And then be like, I didn't have time.
Hey, it's what I do.
It's what he does.
That's what I does.
All right,
Otherwise, I wouldn't be having no motivation to get the car done.
okay,
That's the only reason I got the car done last time. Is because I'm like, I gotta drive. I'm
right.
like, I've already paid. Like, I'm losing money. Gotta do it. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't really want to work on this piece.
Do
of
they
thing.
accept refunds?
Chris? It's Chris.
Jackson's-
it goes
Jackson's
straight to
running.
Jackson's website.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
you go to sign up. It's like U.S. Drift Circuit.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, yeah.
So,
You've been fooled. It's actually Chris.
oh, okay.
It's like a Scooby Doo episode.
Darn those kids.
It wasn't Fuel Fest the whole time.
Jinkies. Foiled again.
Well, okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. So
Yeah.
then now we know what's going to happen. And what was the registration process like?
So I don't know. The registration process is a little weird because it says that you will be reviewed, and if they choose not to let you go, your money will be refunded. So I don't know if Chris is going to like deny me or not.
Oh,
We'll see.
okay.
Yeah.
So
So
don't
if I get
mind.
a refund, I'll know why. And I'll go over to Chris's shop
Shop.
and be like, I want more than a refund, buddy. No, but I guess they're doing a competition.
I don't know. I was
Yes, I saw that.
trying to talk him into doing Adam
An
LZ's layout.
exhibition.
No,
Do an exhibition, not a competition.
Adam LZ's layout. because everybody says it seemed to turn out pretty well, and it wasn't too long, so it was a nice fast entry. You could do high speed entry, and then it was like almost like a P or R shape design. They come in high speed, do a sweeper right in front of the audience, and then come on out, and then everybody would line up on the track. Because last time I think it was a little too long. Wasn't it too long? And you had all
it
those
was
potholes.
long, and you're trying to not just blow your car up because you're like got these gigantic potholes and ready to rip your wheel off.
Yeah, so I think that Adam LZ's layout kind of avoided the potholes the way they did it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, like you mentioned, it was shorter, and it just seemed to flow a bit better. And it was a bit, I mean, I could understand in a sense why they did that, but it just caused too many problems. There was a point that they actually had to shut it down so that way they could.
For LZ?
No, for
Jackson?
Fuel Fest.
Yeah.
They had to shut it down if, I guess, weld something on one of the potholes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Yeah,
what was that
they
about?
welded a manhole cover down. I'm sure the city went by. What the hell? Somebody welded the manhole covers down.
Yeah.
Well, did it work, Paul?
Yeah, because we kept on knocking off the manhole, and then after that, it was like not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. But Chris wants them to be able to hot lap. That's why he wants to run it that way, because he could throw them on the track.
You can't hot lap anyway.
You can't.
Well, I guess you can.
You were hot lapping. You could
kind
just stay on the course before. He would throw people
know.
out, and you just be this endless hot lapping, and people would go around. But there's so much time there. Like there was a lot of downtime because people were running out of tires, and so I
I
think
didn't run any tires. I drove the whole day. Never got out of the
really.
car.
I thought people were running out of tires.
No, it's okay. If you're tandeming, yeah. But if you're a solo driver, you're just like sitting in your car for hours.
Drifting?
Not drifting.
Waiting.
Waiting.
Right.
Yeah, it sucks for solo drivers.
Yeah,
It always sucks for solo drivers, though,
it does.
because the tandem guys always, get to go.
They get to have all the fun.
The fun. All the fun is with the tandem guys.
Yeah. Anywho.
So that's why I'm just gonna follow Gabby and then hit him.
I like to see how the conversation, the exchange afterwards at work, how that's going to turn out between both of you if there's a lot of contact between both of them. Because he wasn't, after Gabby did, what was it again, America's Union, he didn't have a lot of good things to say about that experience.
No, he was pissed at all those guys.
Well, he never went to Argentina, did
No,
he?
they never sent him. They canceled all that stuff. What a bunch of liars.
Really?
Yeah. He won the trip to go to Argentina.
He was supposed
Him
to.
and who else?
Savio.
Taylor Ray also.
Well, no, Taylor Ray wasn't going to go. He gave it away. Leo Alvaretta, Savio won. A couple other guys won. But yeah, they never flew anybody out.
Well, that's not cool.
Not cool at all.
I wonder what happened.
No.
I do want to say
COVID did happen.
it was during COVID.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But they had stricter lockdowns.
But I will say, so I don't know his real name. I'm assuming it's Drew, but Drewski Drift and Carlos, they had messaged me because remember I gave away the shirts.
Right.
So only 2 people asked me for shirts.
Gave away what shirts?
I had a bunch of shirts left over, and we were watching last time. I was like, "Hey, if you guys want a shirt, just message me free. I'll send it to you because I had a ton of shirts."
Oh shoot!
And
Should have told me I got stickers too.
Well, anyway, it's only 2 people messaged me. It was Drewski Drift and Carlos. So they hopefully get their shirts soon because I mailed them out on actually Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
So and then I got rid of all the other shirts. So what a shame. Everybody that watched, you missed out.
Oh, so it was just a limited run?
Yeah, I got rid of all the shirts. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had 4 totes of shirts. I just was like, my wife's like, you got to get these out of here. So I was like, well, before I get rid of them, let me at least try to give some away.
Yeah.
You know, to people that are watching. Hey, if you're gonna watch, just thank you for watching, and here's some shirts. They're brand new shirts, and only 2 people sent messages.
Oh,
and then I got rid of the rest of the shirts. So yeah.
Well, one of the lucky individuals that got a shirt just dropped a message in the chat by saying, it was me. I just got them today. LOL. I love the keychain. Also, awesome surprise.
Yep.
That was by the Bandit X.
Ah, good deal.
What keychain?
I had a bunch of keychains, so I said I'll throw a keychain in there too. I think, I gave him like 2 or 3 shirts. So I was like, I threw like 2 or 3 shirts in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he used to have these little turbo keychains.
I still got them.
You still have them?
Yeah, I still got those.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess if somebody wants
You blow on them and little turbo whistles. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
He's got a bag of them.
Yeah, I got a bag.
Oh,
we were,
okay.
We were going to car shows
Well,
and trying to sell stuff.
why don't you say if you come find us at Fuel Fest, you could get a free turbo.
I have a blow off valve.
Oh, look at that.
It's kind of cute, right? Even it's
kinda cute.
adjustable. I think it's set for like nothing.
No, if
Oh,
it's
is this one over here?
yeah, towards
Yeah,
that
what are you
camera. Yeah,
doing?
not that one.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so that's
goof.
one. I had that. I got the Turbski, like the chrome multicolored. I have a bunch of those. I should put them up on like Amazon, try to sell them, right?
Yeah, put them on Facebook.
Or Facebook. I did. Nobody ever wants
Really?
them. Yeah, I don't, and a little wheel. I think the one I sent him was I sent it a little helmet because you never know
Yeah, he did.
what somebody's gonna like. The helmet's kind of like universal if you like racing. What else do I have here? The helmet one. Oh,
Oh,
visor goes up and down.
that's cool.
I have some pistons, so some little pistons.
I remember the piston. Yeah.
Yep, and then I have. Ooh, I only have one shock absorber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
shock
that one.
absorber. I actually have a little one with little rotor. Little rotor, and what else do I got? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, me and my wife.
These are all keychains.
These are all keychains. Yeah, these are all keychains.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to car shows. I was trying to stall, like, make shirts and try to make some extra money on the side, and that was a waste of time. Waste of money too.
Well, at least you're
I'm not good
honest with yourself.
Well, I'm not good
Not
at
good with
marketing myself. Like I can sell parts and stuff on my car because it's like I have the patience to just leave it up there until it sells. So a lot of times I sell quite a bit of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. But like trying to market a brand, I'm just not good at that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anywho,
All right, let's go and switch gears and talk about one of the unfortunate news items that took place was Mr. Ken Block, who unexpectedly passed away, which for me was just definitely a surprise. It's one of those things where you don't really believe it at first because of all of the just random hoaxes that people like to do. Is like, oh, Joe Rogan passed away or this other person passed away. But Ken Block, I was like, okay, strange. But then when I saw that it was on TMZ that reported it, I was like, oh, this is legitimate.
yeah.
And then the questions start pouring in is as to like, well, how did it happen? Where did it happen? What was he doing? Was he by himself? And all these things. And just to hear just the way how it all just transpired, it's just, just very unfortunate, very sad.
Yeah, it is. It sucks, especially his daughter. Was she 16 or 17 or something like that? And she was getting into it too. I know he was really close with her. So yeah, that's not a way to start off a new year.
No, definitely.
And hopefully
not.
that's not like the omen for 2023. I mean, that's to lose somebody like Ken Block on the first day of the year. It's like, oh geez, what's to come?
Yeah, no, that was really sad. He's got 3 daughters too.
Well, there's also another drag race, a real famous drag racer that died as well.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah, I forget his name now because we don't really follow drag racing, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. Yeah, same day, but
The same day.
same day. Yeah, the first. Yeah,
He died on the same day.
Same day. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were, doing a lot of stuff, having fun. So, sometimes when you have fun, you.
Well, he was on the extreme sports side too, right?
Oh, the drag strike.
No, not the dragster. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Ken Block. I mean, he could have died at any point of one of those stunts. that
Yeah,
he does.
right, exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of things like that Mustang. You see it almost hanging off that side of that cliff. I mean, he
At
coulda-
Pikes Peak.
there's a lot of times that he could have died. That it's just it's actually it's just a roll of the dice.
Yeah, you can only tease death so many times before it catches up to you, but
Yeah,
it's just not a snowmobile accident. It's like, really?
yeah. Out of all the things that he's
Yeah, of
done,
all the things
all
he's done,
crazy things he's
snowmobile
done.
accident?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's just sad for the kids, but yeah.
It also reminds me of just what happened with Michael Schumacher, Formula One champion, who evidently was put his life on the line in multiple
Yeah, but
occasions.
he came back. Right,
Well,
didn't
hang on, just.
Hang on. man.
With
Hang
him,
on.
it was just one of those things where he was put into many situations where he could have passed away, and I mean, luckily, nothing serious. But then he was out on skiing, and it just so happens that he just fell and hit his head on a rock. But it did it in such a way where it just kind of made him paralyzed him pretty much. Like
Yeah.
it just put him in a I mean, I don't know what's the proper term.
Paraplegic or whatever is what they call
But basically, he was just in a really bad state where you don't, he's under 24-hour care.
Right. Yeah. He's
And it's just, you hate to see those kind of things just take place, and just for Ken Block to just go away like that. It was just.
It wasn't expected, right? I mean, well, it never is, but I didn't know he's 55. I thought he was, for some reason, I thought he was younger than that.
Yeah, I thought the same too.
So it gives me hope. I still got time.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. And the other thing too that happened around the same time, you had and again, nothing related to the automotive world, but Jeremy Renner, the actor, just happened to
Yes,
have
that's right. Yeah.
he got ran over by his snowcat as
He
he
got
was
ran
trying
over?
to. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he got seriously injured. He was
Stay out of the snow, people. It's
yeah,
dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like motorcycles, and all that stuff is super dangerous to be getting. And I guess, well, what happened to Ken Block is that his snowmobile fell on him.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
It fell on top of him.
Oh God.
It fell on top of him and crushed him. So all that kind of stuff. I mean, riding motorcycles, riding snowmobiles, all that stuff where you can fly off of it or it can fall on you is dangerous. I mean, that's why cars are so drifting is so safe.
In comparison,
in comparison, you're in a cage. Typically, you're in a caged car.
Right.
You're not going
Fire
very
suppression system,
fast.
something
You
like a
get
fire
fire
extinguisher.
suppression system.
Helmet. But the only thing that I could say that we can find like joy in is that he was doing something he loved to do when he died.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he loved riding. I mean, was it like a special snowmobile or he just got it done or something?
I wouldn't know.
I mean, I'm sure he was having a blast.
Right.
Same thing with Paul Walker. Paul Walker, same thing. He took his friend out for a test ride in a car. He was doing what he loved to do. Doing what he loved to do. But those Porsches. Well, I think I saw a meme saying like Stingrays, Porsches, and snowmobiles. Because what's the wildlife guy that died with the Stingray? Steve Irwin, and then Paul Walker with the Porsche, and now Ken Block with the snowmobile. It's like, man, but they were doing what they love to do. All of them, all three of them, right? So, I mean, if you're gonna go out, at least you do, going out doing what you love to do. That's at least there's something honorable in that, right?
Right. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss of words just thinking about it regarding this topic, but
Well, it's like legendary, right? I mean, these men died doing what they love to do. Right. It's you can at least find some kind of like peace in that, because instead of like, okay, this guy, Ken Block, was doing all these crazy stunts and probably could have died 100 times doing all these stunts that he's done, and then gets mugged and shot and killed in the street. It's like there's no glory in that, right? That's like dishonorable. Right. It's almost like back in the samurai. You want to die at war, right? That whole warrior kind of mentality. And these guys died during battle, I guess, if you want to look at it like
there's also those instances that he had crashes in his rallying career.
Yeah.
There was, he not only did his.
Look at Travis Pastrana.
All right.
That man's broken freaking, I think, every bone in his body, and he's still going. Looks like he's graduating to cars because I think it's a little more safer, because now he's starting to do the similar to Ken Block's video. So maybe Travis will carry on the torch.
Right.
Because he did that video recently where he was at County Line.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. That was just, if we want to talk about that, one of the things that really stood out is that when he drove over, I think was it Key Biscayne or somewhere in the Keys?
Well, so they clip it together. He's obviously not, these are multiple different locations that are way away from each other. So it looks like it's a nonstop run, but right. He's like at Fort Lauderdale, and next thing you know, he's jumping, down in the Keys somewhere.
Yeah.
Jumping a bridge.
Yeah, but I think he was going over 100 miles per hour when he just went airborne with it. Yeah.
He was booking it. Like he was moving it to jump that bridge like that. He was flying, definitely, for sure. But then they did that scene in County Line where he was doing donuts around the monster trucks or whatever, the jacked up trucks. But you notice how went through the second left turn that we do, and there was a guy doing the jet ski. What did they fill that with water? Is that like a rock pit now or something? You notice that was full of water?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
What?
That was
So you know where we used to? So when you go in county line, and we would do the first left or second left, there was that big round circle that we would sit in the middle and we would judge, or we had like lights in there.
Yeah.
Well, it was totally full of water and had a guy in a jet ski there. So when Travis Pastrana shot, he shot right through that middle section.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in a jet ski that guy did a flip. I mean, it was deep enough where he could do a flip on a jet ski.
And the entry? The entry?
No, in that round center, that center where we would sit and judge. Like I put my truck.
No.
There
was not water in there.
Yes, there was.
No. If you go back to the video, that is where was
that?
That's at the entrance. You know remember there was a circle at the entrance?
That's not at the entrance.
Yeah,
that's at the.
I guarantee you.
You think it's at the entrance?
I guarantee you.
Okay, I'll take his word for it. It looked like it was where the beginning of the drag strip was.
Yeah. No, it didn't.
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, well,
Anyhow,
It was interesting.
Still, that wasn't deep. That wasn't a hole. Like they dug it out and put water in there or something. Anyhow,
But that was a weird video too. That they made it they pieced it together like he's driving through Miami.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
it's like no, these two places are completely different.
They're like 15 miles away from each other. Like 10, 15, or not even
20
close.
miles away. Yeah, it's like God. I think one's like in the Keys, and then
Exactly.
That's like you're talking miles and miles.
It's the
away.
miracle of editing.
Yeah, no, it's
But
crazy.
that's Ken Block's videos were a lot of them like that too. But maybe Travis Pastrana will carry on the torch.
Yeah, it seems like it.
as cool as it was to see the bits about County Line, it just
Depressing.
yeah, it hit differently for me.
Hit you in the feels.
Yeah, just to see that it's just the fact that it's there and we
Imperfect.
can't
Touch it.
access it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need to get a filming permit and do a video of an event.
Yeah. No, it's not an event. We're shooting a video that
It looks like an event.
Yeah, so that's why
We're
everybody's
making a video of an
Yeah,
event.
yeah. We have all these extras.
Yeah, we do an invitation only.
Yeah,
and
invitational.
Yeah, we'll do Drift Sessions Invitational.
We're filming LZ's invitational.
Drift Sessions
Yeah,
Invitational.
Drift Sessions invitational.
Yeah.
We'll bring everybody back from the old school, and we'll get like 30 drivers,
And
and then
the movie's called
we'll
King
get a
of
bunch of extras,
yeah,
and we'll do a video.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, if we can make it happen, sure. But I did look into it a bit, and it's not going to be cheap. I'll tell you that much.
oh really?
Yeah. We're talking about at least a $100 application fee, and then
easy.
we have to get an insurance
That's
that has I think a $1 million coverage.
Yeah, it's like
that's easy.
$2,500 for the day.
$2,500. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, Chris can get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he has to do anyways when he does those events.
Ah, all right. Well, that makes sense.
I mean, it's doable. It's definitely doable. You just have to
do it.
You have to get do limit to like 30 drivers and do like an invitational, and then do pre-registration only, and then close the gates, right? So it's not open to the public. And do like a private day at County Line.
Well, you just gave a bunch of people out there a new idea to explore.
Hey, it's fine.
Well, if it happens, invite us. We'd like to
Yes. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, right?
go. Yeah, right. Well,
I'm sorry.
too
Whatever.
late. It's already out there. But
My
in
bad.
any case,
I think out loud. You gotta stop me earlier, man. My wife always gets mad because I always say stupid things. Anyways,
they're saying loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, my ship is sunk a long time ago.
In any case, so our condolences to Ken Block and the family for just the tragic news, and I'm sure they yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
What
but
can you say?
yeah. So Paul,
Yeah.
you had an interesting trip not too long ago. Where you went to Orlando, and what you do there?
So Chelsea Denofa had offered a class. He put it up on his Instagram that he's going to be offering a class, and I signed up for it because, anytime I can try to get a little more knowledge from Chelsea, I feel like it's a good opportunity. So I took the opportunity. I paid the money. It was quite a bit of money.
And Reese Marin, by the way.
Reese Marin was there. Yes, exactly.
How much was it?
I think it was like $200.
That's not too bad.
It's not bad for the amount of knowledge he's given, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys synced hours and hours and hours and years pretty much into drifting. So, that being said, It was really good. It was a lot of people there. Savia was there. Duarte was there. Fellow was there. I'm trying to remember who else was there, but there's a lot of guys.
How many people would you say?
I'd probably say good 30, 40 maybe.
Okay.
30 or 40
Like a
guys.
good classroom
It was
size?
it was in a college classroom, so it was a nice setup.
Did you get your ID? Your school ID?
No. The only thing I would say is that they should have brought. They should like did food or something like that.
Oh, they did pizza. I did his class.
They didn't do pizza.
I did his class quite a few years ago with Rich the Burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he got like Domino's or something.
Yeah, but I mean something like that would make sense, I guess. Maybe he did. Maybe I just didn't remember. But either way, the class was really good. He basically, I don't know how much it's. I think it's a little different than the class you did. Basically, what he was going over is sustainability of drifting, making drifting sustainable for you, the driver, right? So coming up with ideas to be able to save money and make drifting cheaper for you. Because if you make drifting cheaper, you're going to do it all more often. You're going to do more events, you're going to drive more, and all these things. And basically, that's what he said he was doing. His whole goal with the Fox body was sustainability. So he made the car as light as possible, as simple as possible, so that way it wasn't a lot of money to fix. And being light, it means he doesn't get that much wear on tires. He doesn't have to run that much horsepower, so he's got more sustainability in a power plant because he's not trying to run ridiculous horsepower, try to keep up with people because he's light. So less money on tires, less money on power plant, just less money all around. He said that car $17,000. He said he could build another one for $17,000.
Really?
Yeah, that same exact car.
Now, okay, can he build it with all his connections, or can anybody?
No,
build
he
it?
said anybody can build that car for $17,000.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said.
Because he's got a lot of connections. You know?
Yeah, I know. But he's saying anybody can build a car for $17,000. He said pretty much. But I mean, so he goes into like a bunch of like it could be longer if you wanted to.
Wait, hang on. Before we move on, I do want to ask you a couple of things. Did he give examples on vehicles that are ideal for this, say, sustainability topic, or was he just talking about
the Chelsea Sustainability Act?
He would wanted to know what people had, right? And everybody was pretty much the same, either E36, E46, Z's, G's.
Yeah.
Or something.
Any odd platforms?
I think there was somebody with
odd chassis.
Somebody with an odd chassis. I just don't remember what it was. There was a couple guys that do FD tuning, so they're tuners for like car setup guys for FD teams that were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a couple guys there that were FD team. All they do is set up the cars for the guys.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
but were they part of the class?
They were students.
They were so they were there for.
They were there to learn from Chelsea. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I'm not. They were asking some questions and getting some information. Chelsea was talking about the craziness with the subframes and stuff like that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the craziness with their subframe, they swap out a subframe in 5. And
You're talking about his the RTR team?
Yeah, he says how he drills those guys like crazy on far as how much to how to swap, how long it takes them to swap out everything. So they have everything timed out on how to swap every part in that car.
So if they have to change a part, they know right away.
They know how long it's going to take. They don't even
know.
They don't even have to think about how long it's going to take. They know exactly how long it's going to take them. So they can say, okay, is it worth it or is it not worth it?
Right.
Because we know it's going to take us 7 minutes. But if it's going to take us 7 minutes, we're not going to have. We need more than 5 minutes.
Right. Why waste the time trying to get it done?
We're not even gonna try it.
That's smart. That's a good. It helps you make those decisions.
Yeah. He says he can't do a subframe change in 5 minutes. They can do it in 7 minutes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. It was
okay.
It was like crazy, like subframe change. Yeah. It's like, that's insane, dude. Another thing, a lot of the stuff was, one thing I thought he mentioned that was he really is a proponent of one-way adjustable shocks. He was pretty much telling everybody if you have a two-way shock, it's really ridiculous. And if you have a three-way, it's like,
that's what these are, right? I don't know.
These are one way. Yeah,
Good.
one way. So one way compression and dampening.
If they're even still.
He said
good.
you really need to know what you're doing. I mean, you say you need to go through this class probably a couple times before you know.
Not his class, but something like an actual two-way suspension setup class.
Understanding what it does, understanding what adjusting the rebound and compression does as far as dampening and drifting.
Did he go over that?
Yeah, he went through it, and it's just a myriad of things. One of the things I thought was interesting is that he says, okay, he lists 2 tires, right? And he says, which one has more grip?
All right, so just pause. So is anybody watching?
Yeah, we got a
All
couple
right,
of
so
you.
whoever's watching, ask the question and see
so
what people
the
say.
question is, which one has more grip? A 245 45 18 or a 265 35 18? Which one has more grip?
Oh, well, let's circle back to that. Let's
Go
just
again.
let's let him marinate.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time. So, which one has more grip? A 245 45 18.
And why?
Okay, now one thing that everybody say, well, what tires, what compound? No. Okay, the tires are the same exact tires, same brand, same compound, same everything. Only thing difference is the profile, width, and
just
the profile.
Yeah.
Right. So 265 35 18. 245 45 18. Which one's got more?
I'm just writing
why?
this down. 265 35 18.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
245 45 18.
45 18.
So which one
Okay.
has more grip and why? Because the why is something that got me that I was not expecting. Yeah, he asked me that and I was like, oh, what's this? He's like, but why? I'm like, well, because this. He's like, nope, that's not why. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So what about engine? Did he talk about engine platform, turbo versus V8 or swaps? Or, I mean, did he talk about anything about power plants and transmission stuff?
So it really wasn't talking about swaps. It was really just going into tuning the car,
The chassis
tuning the
suspension.
chassis.
What about cages?
He didn't really talk about that. No, he didn't really go into cages.
Sway bars?
Sway bars. Lots about sway bars because he's a big proponent of sway bars.
He is.
He
I know
is
that for
big,
sure.
big about weight jacking. Okay, so having a big bar up front, so that way when you're leaning, when you're sliding to the right, this wheel when it's getting the push down, that sway bar will even it out and then push weight to this rear wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that way it'll get more grip. As that's why you see their cars will pick up so much mid drift speed. Is because of the weight jacking. That's why the car's lifting up tires and stuff like that. Is because of the weight jacking.
Because they have really heavy duty front sway
they have
bars,
huge
and small
front sway bar.
rear sway.
They I think what he said is they run no sway bar in the back and they hook the bar up and when it rains.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know when I took his class a few years ago, he said you either run both sway bars or you don't run any.
Maybe he's changed. I mean, he likes to run sway bar in the back.
I know he's a big advocate of sway bars.
He likes using sway bars to tune the car. He has a bunch of different ways to tune the car. One of the things he was very very strong on was about toe in to get grip, and he was like, rear toe in for grip should be the last. I mean, you should have exhausted every one of these tricks that I told you today to grip out of your car before you start towing in the rear tires, and you'll see a lot of these guys running a lot of toe in the back.
Yeah,
Connor or Sully.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. Is like when they got to the end
was
of
Connor
it.
there?
No, Connor wasn't there.
But
No.
Billy Mitchell might have been. Doesn't Billy Mitchell? He lives in Florida,
I
doesn't
didn't
he?
see Billy Mitchell there.
Oh,
Billy
okay.
Mitchell wasn't there.
Right.
There was a lot of guys there, but that wasn't one of them. But one of the things he was saying at the end there when they were talking about Formula Drift and the things they do, I mean, he was talking. They didn't even get into the stuff that they do at Formula Drift, because it was mainly about, hey, grassroots
Right.
events, sustainability. What can you do to your car to keep it with your bros?
Okay, so hold on. Let me stop you real quick. So, tire size is one tire.
we didn't even go with that. Did we get an answer on that?
We only have one response by Mr. Christopher Controne, who writes, bigger sidewall, more side bite. That's his response. So I'm guessing he's going to go with the 245, 45, 18.
Yeah, so Chelsea says opposite of that. So Christopher Controne.
Wait. What did
Chelsea
he say?
says the opposite of that.
He said what?
Christopher Controne wrote bigger sidewall, more side bite.
it's two-
So
The
the
opposite of what-
240. So yeah, the 245.
45.
Yeah. So what Chelsea will tell you is The 245/45 has more inches of grip. When you take a footprint of it, right? You imagine if you took a footprint of each tire,
Okay.
the 245/45 is going to have more inches of actual grip, and it's going to have more forward bite
Because of the diameter.
because it's larger diameter.
Right.
The wider tire will have more side bite. So if
Oh, really?
yeah, that's what Chelsea says. I mean, I'm not a professional at any means. Contron, I know, has a lot of experience.
But that's what
But what Chelsea said is the wider tire will have more side bite. Side bite meaning grip sideways.
Okay.
Wider that way. With
Yeah.
More drag, right? Thinner would mean less drag, right? Less side bite. But longer this way, so more forward bite.
Okay.
So to me, Chelsea's point makes more sense to me as like thinking through the physics of it.
But how do you feel about it?
That's what I said. I said Chelsea makes more sense than what Contron's saying.
Oh, I thought there was going
Because-
to be
no,
a but.
but Quitron said the larger sidewall, so he said the 245.
He's saying a larger sidewall will have more side bite.
Oh, but
The
larger
side bite is
you get more side bite in the thinner, the wider tire, thinner
he's
wall.
saying thinner tire, higher wall. That's what Christian Contron
One
said.
of the
or-
wall is the thin.
Did he say the 245/45?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Because, the Bandit X said 245, but Chris Contron wrote bigger sidewall, more side bite.
Which is the 245/45 because
Yeah.
the 235 is a smaller sidewall.
Yes.
So they
Right.
both said the 245/45. But the reason isn't the side bite. The reason is because, from what I understood, was the diameter of the tire.
Right.
There's
Has more contact
There's
patch.
more contact patch because of the diameter of the tire, because it's
When you take
Yes,
square
right.
inches of contact patch, when you actually, he said we've actually done tire prints. They've actually taken tires and measured prints. It's like how much,
like a fingerprint,
like a
fingerprinting
fingerprint.
a tire.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can measure how much of the tire hits the pavement. And he said no, 245. Anytime you get more diameter, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more inches of grip on the track, more inches of rubber hitting the track.
The good thing,
Wait, but you were confused at first, Tim?
no, so my reasoning, I said the same thing because
About
I
the
said
245.
I said with 245/45, but my reasoning was because you can air them down more, right?
No, this is
it'll switch down
no,
more.
but this
Whereas
the whole thing about this thing is that no, same air,
Right.
same pressure, same
Right.
everything,
Right.
everything being the same compound, every brand, nothing's different other than 260 sides, 265 35 18,
Right.
245 45 18.
right,
The
and the
245
45/18.
has more inches of grip. So if you sit there and took a print of it, you're going to have more square inches of grip on the 245 than square inches on the. Now, the only one thing he did say is on the wider tire, you're going to have more side bite. On the thinner tire, you're going to have more forward bite.
which will
The tire's going to propel you forward. That's forward bite.
so it'll give you
Side
it'll make
bite
it faster.
is-
It'll make it faster then.
Will
right?
make you go in more.
Oh, so it'll be
Because if you're
grippier.
driving, you get forward bite drives you in.
Right.
Side bite pulls you out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what you're saying is 245, 45, 18 is going to give you more side bite.
No,
more
No,
forward
wait, hang on.
bite.
More forward
bite.
bite.
more and more grip. Just more
And
grip.
more grip.
over-
There's
yeah.
more grip at a
More forward
245.
bite. And then the 265, 35
It's going to drag more.
is going to drag more.
Because
you
when
more
your
side-
side bite, it's dragging, right? So if you let off, it's going to drag and slow you down.
Ah, okay.
If you start up, it's going to pull you this way too.
But the good news is 245/45/18s are definitely cheaper than 265/35/18s.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. So he said, guys, run 245/45s. Stop running
These crazy white
265s.
tires. Because I was
Stop running 265s. He said, you guys, I know you guys all want to buy these 265s, but if you just buy 245,
you'll be just as
get more
fast,
grip.
if not faster than your boys.
That's what he said. You know, that's Chelsea.
I mean, it's pretty reputable.
Yeah, I mean, I would say.
Yeah. But then you have different manufacturers with different brands. And
Was
and
Contron there?
different- I don't know.
He would have known probably what I don't know. Was he?
Well,
We'll have to wait for him to respond.
if you heard something opposite than what I'm
Right.
saying.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember back in the day there would be like there was I think it was a Bridgestone Potenza tire that it would be labeled as 245, but the contact patch was the equivalent of like a 265
Oh, really?
or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Right, but again, it just depends on the manufacturers and how they produce the tire and how they want to label it. But it just comes down to trying out the tire and seeing what works for your setup.
Yeah,
because evidently there's some like, remember Nankangs? Yeah,
yeah, Nankangs. Oof. Yeah, Hancooks. They're not Hancooks, but yeah, Nankangs used to fall apart. They would, Nankang. They would fall apart on me.
And what else?
So, I mean, there was a lot
that
of...
was a great discussion. The whole tire thing.
No, I mean, that was just, man, I wish you guys would have came because you guys would have wrote down some extra stuff. But I was trying to write down as much as I can. I wish I had my notes in front of me because that would really help. But, I mean, it was just a plethora of knowledge. I really wish we could have done it in smaller bits, like a 2-day thing.
Did you talk about differentials and rear end gearing or like LSD versus spool?
So yeah, so he does prefer LSD.
Yeah, I do too.
But he said the maintenance upkeep with an LSD is just going to outweigh the benefits of it. He said it's always going to be better, but it just doesn't make sense. And he said in the pro cars they would just destroy them every run and have to completely rebuild them.
Right. So
they run spools.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm trying to get him. What about? Did you talk about anything safety gear or anything?
No, I didn't really talk about safety.
Yeah, who cares about safety?
Gear ratios.
I don't think he really talked about it. He talked about gear ratios. You know, a couple guys were saying, "Hey, I'm struggling with the skid pad here and or the big track here. What do you think I should do for gearing?" And he was talking about keeping multiple gears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was also giving guys recommendations. What gear ratios?
Like personal recommendations while they're there.
Yeah, say for your car, I think you should do this gear ratio.
What about steering? Steering wise, so you go over steering angle.
I mean,
the like your.
He's like you all pretty much have. I mean, he's like everybody has angle kits right here. He's like everybody, raise your hand if you have an angle kit. No, all the arms start going like this.
Yeah,
he's like this is crazy.
Yeah, because that's.
He's like
5 years ago wasn't like that.
He's like this is crazy. Everybody has angle kits now.
Yeah,
he's like yeah, pretty much everybody has angle kits. He's like, okay, well.
Does he recommend toe in or toe out in the front?
He runs a little toe out. They don't run any no toe in. No, never.
I'm
never.
just curious.
But no, this is funny because he actually mentioned when he first drove the RTR car, it actually had toe in on it. He said he got down the straight and he was like, stop. He got out. He brought the car right back to the guys. He said you need to get toe in out. He's like, oh no, we run toe in. He's like, no, I'm not driving it. You got to get it out.
Really?
He's like, no, I'm not driving the car with toe in.
Really?
He's like, well, it's like, I guess. Well, he said they didn't know some of the things that he knows, and they were tuning around an issue that he could fix for them. So he fixed that issue for them. Now they don't need to run toe in anymore. But they were tuning around an issue that Vaughn was having, and it worked for Vaughn, so they just kept it that way. So they've always ran a little bit of toe in on all the RTR cars until Chelsea got there and was like, no, no toe in.
Wow.
No toe in the front. So Vaughn always had a little bit of toe in. He's like, I don't know how he drove it, but either way, we fixed it. So now they run the toe out.
Wow.
A little bit of toe out. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so Vaughn actually had a little bit of toe in on the front to, I guess, make the car more stable because it'd make it less twitchy. And he was just fighting something. I don't know. That's the way
so what are other methods of gaining grip to the rear? So tire size.
Well, he said
before you get to what I'm saying is before you get to the toe in and the rear, what are the other options?
Well, okay, so anytime you make the rear softer, you're going to have more grip. Okay. You make the front harder, stiffer, it's going to weight jack to the rear.
Okay.
So that's basically the first thing he starts off with. He said the great thing about one-way shocks and the reason I tell you guys to get them is they're grip knobs. Turn them up, less grip. Turn them down, more grip.
That's the rear.
In the rear. And the front is a little different, yeah. But you turn it up in the front, you're gonna get more weight jacking into the back. He said when you understand that completely, then you can get into the two-way. So that way you can start messing with the rebound and compression to get even more grip. because that tuning you can't do on a one-way. They're locked together.
Right.
When you adjust rebound, you adjust compression at the same time.
Right.
There are different ratios of how much each one adjusts by, but still.
Okay, so that's one option.
So the one option's that sway bars is a big thing. He actually said he had to not run a sway bar in the front of the Mustang because it had too much grip. He said he couldn't get it to break loose.
Oh wow!
So he actually took this front sway bar off of the Mustang.
Really?
Yeah, because
off the Fox body.
Off the Fox body because it had too much grip.
Huh?
And it was just like he couldn't get the damn thing to slide.
Oh wow!
It was too hard to drive.
Huh.
So he took this front sway bar off, even though against his own recommendations.
Right,
He's
exactly.
like, hey, it's what I had to do
Wow.
to get this car driving.
I wonder how long it took him to like say, I wonder
with
if
himself?
yeah, fight with himself and say, sway bar, can't be a sway bar. And then, it's a sway bar.
Yeah, no. Well, he was just trying to get grip out of it. He knows how to get rid of grip and gain grip. So I mean, it's like when we saw, I don't know who he was going against, but don't you remember he got it one more time and you saw him just go to his car, zip, 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 zip.
Yes,
Was it Savio?
Savio, yeah. Savio.
He went against Savio and he got it one more time, and he was like he couldn't keep up with him. He got out of his car, zip, 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 did a couple of things, and then he was like on Savio's
That's true.
board.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought he was turning up the boost, but it wasn't a boost he was turning
No,
up.
he was turning up his grip.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I could tell like he was
Yeah, he
turning
was
up the
doing
grip because
something.
he was like at the edge.
It was a joke. It was
under the
almost funny.
hood.
Remember laughing.
And then not only that, he was actually adjusting his air pressure too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. So if you can go to that, I would definitely suggest it. He's a wealth of information, really cool, down to earth dude. And
Yeah.
I would do it again too, just to kind of like keep on getting that information.
Right. Trying to pick your brain on anything else.
He really didn't want to do a web thing.
Yeah.
He really wanted. He's like, I spent so much time on this. I just don't want this to be free on the internet. I want it to be.
Yeah.
I want somebody to, really value this.
Right.
Come here and value it. Value the knowledge.
Well, Chelsea's been
He's like, I spent a long time.
No,
doing
but
this.
it's not even that. He's been taking a long time learning it, but he's been a wealth of information for a lot of people for free, and they just kind of like, They don't take.
There won't be value in it, right?
They don't. They don't value it. Like it's like, yeah, well,
well,
that's Chelsea thinks, but what does he know? Well, kind of
Right.
knows a little bit.
yeah.
right?
So it makes sense because it has a value, so you need to put a value on it.
Yeah, it's
so.
like I'm almost at the point where like when I get the car going, I'm gonna say, hey, Chelsea, I'm gonna send a message. This is what I got. What do you want me to? What do I set it at?
Yeah, he said he gets that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
I'm sure he does, and I'll just set it to whatever he tells me, and be, my car's set up, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I hope since now that he's in Florida, he does some kind of trainings or
Yeah.
classes. I'm hoping. Which he said he doesn't like OSW really. Is kind of what I mean, not that he hates OSW. He just wasn't really.
Well, it's just a skid pad and an oval. It's
He
like
was talking about trying to find something for the future.
a track is always better, in my opinion.
Mhm.
An actual track, borders, grass line, even if it's slow and it's small, like Emerald Coast.
Yeah,
It's still.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
think it's better.
no, it was great. Like I was such a hater of it to begin in the beginning. In the beginning, then once we went out there, I was like, oh my god, this is
What
great.
else is new?
Yeah,
I'm a hater.
You a
I'm always
hater.
a hater. Yeah, I'm a hater.
Hated it.
But yeah, no. If you can't ever get the chance to do that, if you do want to learn from Chelsea does have 2 videos on YouTube that covers a lot of the same things he goes over, but not as in detail. But I think it's called Grip Tune, and the other one is called some other kind of suspension tuning. But their videos very close to each other. I think they're about a year old, but a lot of the same stuff that was in the class is in those videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my notes from that and just compounded and added more notes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a decent amount of notes now.
Okay.
But if you can't get to his class, watch those videos definitely if you're interested.
Did you get to ask him the question that I had? Is how do you deal with engine fires?
Engine fires? No, he didn't know. He didn't
No,
talk about
okay.
engine fires?
Yeah, engine fire. How do you deal with it?
How do you deal with it? I don't understand. Like, what kind of question is that?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
after
you're talking about because of me?
you had to deal with
Oh,
it.
because I had an engine fire.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you gotta have people around that are willing to put it out for you.
Oh, okay.
Like these two guys did when my car engine got
Okay.
fired.
These two guys.
These two guys.
Yeah. What did any questions get thrown over to Reese?
Oh, so what Reese did was he spoke about spotting.
Oh, okay.
Which there was a lot of good things about spotting, and he was basically saying, look, as a spotter, you need to be dedicated to your driver. You need to treat your driver like, he's paying you to do this. Hopefully he is paying you to do it because it makes it more professional. So yeah, I'm running out. My voice is starting to go.
You want me to get you some more water?
I need something to lubricate my throat.
All right, let me get you some lubrication.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Lube my throat, buddy.
Take me a little bit.
Oh God.
Oh no.
A little slow now. Okay. No, but he kind of went over spotting and just a lot of things that people don't think about when they're spotting. You gotta really be. You got to see first what your driver wants you to tell him, right, or talk to him. Like, what is he looking? What is your driver looking for? Feedback.
Ah,
What kind
okay.
of feedback is your driver looking for?
Right.
He's like, all your comments to your driver need to be positive, like more on the positive side, not focus on what he's doing wrong, focus on what
Thank you.
he should be doing, like, or where he could be, that type of thing. So it was good. I think, and he had more notes than that, and I don't have them in front of me, but a lot of it was just trying to keep it professional. Don't, just because the driver's upset, don't return that same kind of attitude. Keep calm. So keep your driver calm because he's going through a lot of stress right now, and just kind of focus on what he's looking for as far as feedback. So
I gotta say,
Paul was a spotter for me.
immediately, you'd be a bad spotter, Paul.
He was.
no, I'm a horrible spotter.
He was a horrible
like,
spotter.
dude, you suck.
He's like, you're doing bad. You're doing.
Why do you suck?
Why
so
are you
bad?
doing? Why are you doing that? I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop doing
Dude,
that.
you spin again.
You're going too slow. You need to go faster.
slow.
You're going too slow. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh my God, man. Why do
Sorry,
you
man.
suck
I'm
so
sorry. I'm
Bad?
sorry.
You suck so bad.
Yeah.
Did by any chance did Reese go over, because he's judged a lot of events? Did he go over like his position as a judge? Like, what would he normally be looking at, or would be focusing on? I mean, even though like
No, he was like, well, what he said to that, he's like, hey, look, all judges are different. They're all looking at different things. That's what you need to, as a spotter, you need to talk to the judges. You need to be saying, what does my driver need to do? What are you looking for my driver to do? What is he not doing correctly? Or what he can improve on? Because those are the guys that are judging.
Yeah, because
It doesn't matter what I think,
right.
because I'm not judging. Those guys are the guys that are giving them the points and taking away the points, right?
Yeah.
Or so on. So that's the guy that you need to be getting the information from and relaying that to your driver.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to really matter. It doesn't really matter what I think because I'm not judging.
Yeah, because some judges will be, if you just have the craziest entry, I've seen at some of these events that their mind's blown and they don't really focus on the rest. Their most impactful part of their judging is on entry. I've seen events where people have like this, it's not maybe not even be that much of an insane entry, but do this entry that they just think is amazing. And the rest of the course could be like, okay, but that entry, you know what I'm saying? They have different focal points around the course. So trying to figure out what the judge is looking for is definitely key. That's good information.
Yeah, no, it was a really, like I said, it was a long day. I think we left at we got there at 8 and we left at 3. So it was just like straight, okay, we take a couple breaks, but straight just pounding information.
Wow.
So it was really good. And I would just, if he ever does it again, I would probably go again. And if I'm hoping to God he does like a class day one time. I'd like to take my car there and see.
Yeah.
Lance, let me ask you this, because you're a stickler for this. Was there anything throughout the whole course that you disagreed with?
I think I disagreed with. No, because I didn't disagree with anything from a physics standpoint. So it all made, in the physics aspect of it, it all made sense to me. The weight jacking, the tires thing made sense to me. The as far as the compression and rebound settings and all that. It all made sense to me. So I didn't see anything that didn't make sense. One thing he did say was weird is at the end they were talking about what they do in FD. And if they have like a freaking huge, like, let's say right-hand sweeper and the rest is like an infield track, they'll put a spacer on the left side.
On a leading side?
On the leading tire side, they'll put one spacer. So say if like most of the inside is most left turns,
Right.
they won't put a spacer on that side, but they'll put a spacer on this wheel to loosen it up on the bank.
Right.
And then once they get off the bank, the infield's grippier. Huh. But he said there's a lot more stuff that they do.
Oh, of course.
But that's just one of the weird things that they do. They'll just throw a spacer on one side.
Only
like,
on the rear or on the front and the rear?
On the rear, I guess. But
Yeah.
he said start watching FD cars next time you're there. There'll be a wheel sticking out on one side
Way more than the other?
than the other.
Huh.
He said start looking at the car really, and it's like what's going on. So they do some crazy stuff.
I mean, anything you do that had advantage, right?
Yeah, he said
exactly.
it's everything. And he said we're always trying to cheat the system.
Yeah. Well, I remember he got in trouble for that bead lock he was
Gluing
using,
his
like
tires.
gluing his tire. Remember?
I don't remember.
Didn't he get disqualified or something?
I don't think he got disqualified. I think maybe I don't know.
Something
I think
happened
stern
where he
warning,
was
I guess?
using
He
like
got a
it wasn't
warning.
using a bead lock, but didn't say anything about using a
adhesive.
to keep the tire on. So you run a low tire, keeps the tire on. So he was running like something on his beads to keep the tire on, so he can run lower tire
bead
pressure.
lockers, but you could. There's nothing in that technically says you can't have it.
Well, there is now. There's now, but that rule was made because of Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
But
I mean,
they're saying they're always pushing the. I mean, he said those cars are they're so horrible. I mean, they're not fun to drive. Is what he was saying. He said you're fighting those cars. He's like, I wish we could go back to like fun cars to drive, because it's trying to like handle a beast, and we all are just trying to just handle these beasts of cars.
oh, that takes me back to what Pat Gooden told us when we asked him about those FD cars.
Yep.
He's saying
It's the
that
same
like
thing.
every year there's just this crazy progression on the grip levels, and now it's to the point where they're not fun to drive. They're practically undrivable, and what they're doing out there is just
He said
madness.
the cars are just trying to kill you. He said the cars are literally trying to kill you. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he says crazy. He said the guys in pro spec are not, because they're on such a smaller tire.
Okay.
They run a bigger tire, and a grippier tire, so it's a whole different ball game for the FD drivers, the Pro One.
That raises another thing. I would like to see somebody out there just make a video to get a comparison between FD cars, D1 cars, and Drift Masters cars, just to see how they relate, how they're different, how they handle all of that, just to get a sense of like, are they as crazy? Well,
I don't think anybody's doing, like, I was arguing with Gabby the other day, or Gabriel the other day, because he was like, "Oh, Drift Master's way faster than FD." I'm like, dude, I don't think anybody's got their cars as gripped up as FD guys do. I really don't. I mean, maybe they're going fast because his tracks are fast, but I don't think anybody's has as gripped up cars as FT does. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I could be
Well,
wrong.
yeah, James Dean could probably answer that because he's done both.
Well, he was
Right.
Chelsea was like complete. He's like his Chelsea's drift tune is completely different than James Dean.
And how
He
so?
says James Dean doesn't run sway bars up front, so he doesn't use weight jacking. He said James Dean steers his car. He drives his car all with steering. He said if you watch James Dean drive, he is constantly adjusting his steering, and he's full throttle. And everything that he does, he puts the car in place with the steering wheel.
and how is that different from the way how
Chelsea
he drives?
is more driving off the throttle.
the throttle. Okay.
Yeah, driving off the throttle, throwing the car in, throwing it into the drift, that type of thing. He said, James Dean is really good at driving the car at full throttle and just steering it through, but he doesn't have sway bars on it, or at least that's what he said. He's not big on sway bars, and the way that Chelsea's not a fan of Wisefab, so
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was actually going to be another question of mine, because you remember how he asked the class, like, "Oh, who here runs angle kits?" And then
What's his preferred
my
angle kit?
follow-up question was, did he have a preference?
No, he didn't say he had a preference, but he
Oh,
was
okay.
just like,
Because he ran SLR for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they have their own kit now too. So the RTR kit, they have their own FD
Yeah, but
kit.
what does he have in Fox Body?
He's got Scotty D's kit. He's got a kit that Scotty D made with him giving
Right.
Scotty information and Scotty doing stuff for him. So they work together on that. But I think he's just kind of open to it all. But he's mainly on the sway bar kick and not so much Zero Ackerman. So Ackerman gets into a whole nother.
He didn't get into that.
He did get into Ackerman, yeah, but just going down that path is like the Ackerman thing. Now you'd be there for a day trying to explain that and what the differences are. But he was saying that was the James Dean likes to drive Zero Ackerman, and that's how he can steer the car. He can basically use that to steer the car inside or pull him out. So just with the wheel, and if you drive my car, because my car is set Zero Ackerman, if I steer in, the car moves the whole drift angle in. My whole like arc of the drift will move in towards inside. If I steer more angle, the whole arc moves out.
It makes you run wide.
Because you can just adjust your arc
Right.
of the drift with just how much angle you're running and how much you're adjusting the steering wheel. So it's pretty interesting. And he went to explain all that and did all that. But it was like I said, it was a great class. I would definitely recommend it.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information.
He does it, like I said, if you watch his 2 videos, and then there's a guy named Pernstar on YouTube. Yeah, I know. He's
I don't know if he had an accent there for a second, or
Pernstar. No, he was the guy that showed up. He was the at King of OSW with I think he's got a blue FRS.
Oh, okay.
His name was Pernstar.
Oh, I don't remember, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Remember those these 2 FRSs that battled one another? One was white, one was a blue one.
was it white and red or blue and white? Yeah, blue and white. Yeah.
Well, then the blue one
white,
of that
yeah,
one.
Yeah, the white one was not doing so well, and the blue one was doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
that
think
guy,
so.
I guess.
Yeah, he came. I don't know where he came from, but he came from a different state, and he moved down here recently, and he just competed at that event. But he has a video that goes over Ackerman pretty well too. So if anybody wants to learn about what exactly different Ackerman adjustments do, he has a video that goes all through Ackerman, different settings. And
I'm not gonna focus on that stuff until I get the car running. Once I get the car running and get the car on the ground, driving around, I'll be sending Chelsea, hey, okay, what do I set the car at? This is what I got. Tell me. I want to set it and be done. I don't and drive
He's
it.
gonna tell you that it's never set it, forget it.
No, I know, but a starting point.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was it. That was my journey. I literally woke up at 4:00 in the morning to drive the 3-hour drive up, and once done at 3:00, I ate lunch and then went home. So it was just literally drive
Exhausting.
up there there was people that flew in.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
people flew in for it. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Oh, it's just everybody just trying to, individuals trying to get whatever they can to gain some sort of advantage.
Oh,
Just-
and Chelsea was really cool. He let people record it. He did let some guys record it. So he's like, dude, I hope you just
Don't
respect
post
me.
it up and put it on
Just
YouTube.
put it freaking on YouTube, dude. It's like, I'm sure somebody did, but
You
he
could
was
probably
just-
do a copyright claim.
yeah, but he was like, no. And then a lot of people came in and didn't technically, like, he didn't make them pay right off the bat. He was like, at the end, he's like, hey, like, if you didn't pay, I hope you pay my wife when you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people were just coming in late and stuff like that.
Huh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just it's like information.
Indeed. So if you guys are looking to get started with drifting,
Yes.
I think, Tim, you came across an article that emphasizes.
Yep. How many
This,
days
right?
ago was this? So I looked at different topics. I was going through and I was like, let me see I just
What's this?
basically Googled. I was like, drifting news. Let's see what else. Obviously, Ken Block came up quite a bit. But I saw this article. I can't really see. I don't think it was posted that long ago. I think it was like 4 days ago or 5 days ago or something like that.
4 days.
4
4 days ago, right? And I'm like, oh,
By
10 Jeepers
Richard
Drift car.
Reynolds.
Who's Richard Reynolds?
I don't know. Oh my God! White screen.
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, technical difficulties.
No,
Yeah,
we've been
right.
having some of those. That's why we started it.
Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Anyhow, we I went there and I was like, okay, let's see what they have to say. And I saw it and I started skimming. Like, you know what? I'm gonna stop and I want to see it for the first time on the show. So I didn't even skim through the list. I wanted to see what this guy thinks for the 10 cheapest drift cars that are perfect for beginners. So let's what our viewers. I'm
cheapest
kind of
drift
curious
cars
on. Do
perfect
you
for
agree or
beginners.
disagree?
So wait, there are plenty of options that are available for best cheap drift car, but we've narrowed it down to the 10 most reliable
And cost-effective options.
Okay, let's see.
Most reliable, cost-effective option. So, okay, let's see where this goes.
Let's see where it goes.
Number? What are we gonna start from 10?
It starts
to
at number
1?
10. Yeah, I think
Okay.
10 is an E36.
36. Well,
$9,000. Do you believe that?
Nowadays, yes. Well, for a good,
not for a sedan. I mean, you can get a sedan
not for
way
that
cheaper.
one, right?
But I mean, if you're talking about driftable, ready to really go out to a drift event and drive, yeah, I would say about $9,000.
you could get one for 6 or 7.
No, I'm saying after you buy all the stuff that you need to go to drift.
Yes.
I would
for
say about 9
Yeah.
grand.
What does it say here? This car has been a staple in the drift community for years because it's just enough power to make it fun, but not so much that's dangerous. It's reliable, incapable.
That's a lot of BS about the 350 horsepower without having to rebuild
Puts about
it.
two. Well, it says
Hell?
no. It says the stock engine puts out about 200 horsepower and can handle modifications for around 350. Like if you boost it, you can get 350 out of
I
the
guess
stock
if you
motor.
boost
That's
it,
what he's
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Without having to rebuild it with super strong parts.
Yeah.
Which you could probably even get
Yeah,
more
you
than
can.
that out of that. I mean 10 out of 10. Actually, I would have thought that'd have been a little higher. The E36.
On the 10, you mean on the top 10?
Yeah, on the top 10 list.
Oh, like high. Okay. I
Yeah,
get it
higher
now.
up. I was actually surprised to see that as the 10th.
Uh-huh.
So let's see
Is
what's
this
next.
ranked in order, though? Is
Yeah,
this
10
what
out
it
of 10.
is? Okay.
10 out of 10.
Okay, what's
okay,
this?
let's
What's
go
next?
down. Let's see. Number
Showing you an
9.
example.
Okay, which means you won't have to worry about breaking things prematurely. You can use stock platform for years.
Comes
So
with a
then-
solid manual training, can handle abuse.
Okay, so the money amount is for how much you can find the car for.
A good condition, 325.
You could
good-
definitely find a better.
You
price
could
than
and with the way things are going, you could probably find for $9,000 somebody that's already started drifting that has parts on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Number 9.
Moving on.
Number 9, a Mazda Miata. Okay.
I don't think that's,
10K? 10,000 for a Miata?
they are expensive.
Like,
I don't know if they're 10K expensive, but they are expensive.
what kind of Miata is this?
All right.
But
so
I don't
read it.
know. I don't know why Miata is. Well, there is a lot of Miatas out there. right?
Yes.
There's a lot of them driving. It's just a mediocre. Like unless you do like what freaking Taylor Ray did, it's really not a very exciting car to watch drive.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think that's kind of high because I mean, I'm just kind of just Mazda Miata on Facebook Marketplace, and they're going for around 7 to 10, give or take, depending what kind of condition. The 96 looks like it's already has work done to it. Has a video. Actually, this is not a bad deal. It's actually boosted. It's got wow. Well, got Terpsky on it, and
Okay.
it's the guy's only asking $7,500 for a 96 MX5. So if you're in the market,
Well, here they're telling you basically swap an LS3 in.
what
Yeah.
is that? What it
Yeah.
says?
It
Yeah,
says
that's what it
basically
says.
you can pick up an LS3 from GM for $9,000 and a used Miata for $10,000. Yeah, but they don't talk about the other $10,000 that you need to spend to put the LS3 in. Yeah, okay.
Why would you go
Yeah,
to
I-
GM and buy?
I don't know.
Why? That's okay.
Never.
So I think that's should be on the list, but I think the
Miata should
advice
be on the list.
is pretty like stupid.
Lame. Yeah.
Why would I go to GM and pay $9,000 for an engine?
To be able to attend LS Fest.
Ah.
There you go.
Good call.
Okay.
Good call. Yeah, but why would I go to GM?
Go
I
down.
go to the junkyard.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, okay. All right. Moving on.
Hey, that's
Is it
yeah,
Danny
that's
George?
Danny George, right?
No.
Isn't it Danny George?
I don't know.
Moving on.
Okay, all right.
8 out of 10 would have the BMW E46. 330i.
Yes. I agree with that one. That's a
Expensive.
Right
Has
here.
Lots of horsepower.
Well,
I don't know
it's
if it has lots of horsepower.
yeah. What does it say? I can't read.
says it has lots of horsepower, can easily be M3 swapped if you want more power, or swapped with any other performance engine like 2J or LS3. They're really on this LS3 kick.
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting his prices from though.
I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
Because
You'll need to add a front mount intercooler or rear mount if you have more money. Fuel pump, oil pump. Well, you have to do that to anyone you want to turbocharge. The mods can range from $6,000 to $15,000 to get the 335i competitive. We can buy them for $11,000.
No, I mean you could easily find that's another car you could find easily between
Maybe they're in California.
six and 8 for decent shape.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are in California. Maybe they're in Canada.
Maybe they're in Japan.
No. All right.
Well, the only reason I say that is because of the next option.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right. Moving on.
This must be in Canada. Wow, yeah. For $12,000?
Yeah. What
What
the
are
hell?
you smoking?
Yeah, JZX 100.
Well, those tires in that photo.
What are you?
Where are you gonna find a
come on.
JZX 100 for $12,000?
Maybe it's Australia.
That's- I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
No,
That's got a.
that's not even.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
not that. That is not. No, that's stupid.
know.
I mean, I love the car. We're not talking about the car. I'm talking about saying that. Oh, for
That's
$12,000.
That's well, you're it's stupid because it's one thing. I mean, maybe it's a reliable car, but you're not going to find any parts for the car
right
here. There's no replacement parts for the car.
No.
I mean, you were listening
You
to.
could get pretty far if you get the part numbers, and then.
Would you not like going to run to AutoZone and grab anything?
No, of course not.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
So, I mean, we were listening to Tommy talk about his JZX 100,
Oh, yeah,
right? You
sure
remember
thing.
he was talking about the only problem is you can't run and go get this, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like.
Well, where did
Z.
he get that price from? $12,000. I'm
I
kind
don't
of
know.
curious on
Go
where this
down a
article is
little
written.
more.
I don't know.
I don't know how that one's on this
I
list.
do want to mention in the chat the Bandit X row. We taking bets on the 350Z being top 3.
Oh,
That's a good point. I'd like to see that. Well, let's find out. Let's carry
so
on.
there's
But
the price range are at $12,000 already. So you know the 350Z is going to be on there. I don't think. Oh man, you think the 350Z? Because I haven't seen this yet. I haven't looked through the list yet. So
I want to see what else it says about the JZX 100.
Okay.
What makes it
All
a
right.
good?
That's a good
Why
question.
is it a great? I mean, it's a great car. I mean, great looking car. I mean, it's
you
got
could choose a chaser, solid chassis that will last forever, make good power off of the 1JZ engine swap.
They are cheap. Which
where does it say that?
Hang on. No, okay, this is wrong.
This is way wrong
First
because
off.
it's people are selling 1J motors for $6,000.
well, it's the
No,
non-turbo one.
hang on,
Jen.
hang on.
It's the non-turbo one.
No,
Jen.
this is absolutely wrong because first off, these came GTEs. So why would you consider a GE engine swap?
I think
And
they
that makes no
I think
sense.
some of them came GE.
Okay, they did, but
Why would you
That
do
forever
that?
makes good.
Why
yeah,
would you get a GE?
why mention that?
Maybe
That
that's a
makes no sense.
$12,000 model, but still, you can't get a chaser not here for $12,000.
You can get a GE one.
I don't
No,
know.
not for $12,000.
Yeah, I've seen them.
For $12,000.
For yeah, non-turbo. Yeah.
No way. I saw one the other day. It was $16,000. I got one.
Just pull it up. In
Anyways.
the meantime, I'll just keep reading. They are cheap and easy to find, good condition. Okay, this is definitely. Whoa, hang on.
Oh,
Damn
I
it,
saw
skipped
number
ahead.
6.
Damn it, Tim.
Well, you scrolled down too far.
Sorry, my apologies. Whatever.
What were you screaming?
You
about?
can
You'll
make
see.
this car seriously fast with just a few modifications, bigger turbo, good so reliable, can use it for years, makes it a bargain for $12K plus. Yeah, that's just cheap and easy to find in good condition. I would say this is somewhere
$9,000.
elsewhere in the world.
Yeah. And I
$9
mean,
grand for a non-turbo
JZX
chaser?
90.
Oh, no, okay, still the
It's
JZX.
automatic and it's got a a 1G.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
even worse.
Ooh, a 1G, yeah.
All right. So let's
non-turbo.
go number 6.
yeah. Number
Woo!
6.
E30 318i.
Well,
Why?
this
You don't even-
316.
316. Okay, so
this is somewhere else.
this is definitely somewhere else.
Yeah,
Because
because 316.
one, you wouldn't want what? Why would you even have 316?
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would pick that car. So what does it say? Okay, the 316i is a great base for
It
a
is.
first drift car.
Well, an E30 is.
I don't know if it's a great base.
It's an excellent base for a first drift car.
Because the base engine will not make enough power for the car to drift properly, you will definitely need to swap the engine.
Or just go with the
Why not just buy a
325i.
325i? It's like we drifted those plenty of times. So go down.
I'm actually surprised that made it higher on the list. It looks like they're going with cost.
These chassis are cheap at 14 grand.
Where are they at?
Easy to swap with other engines like the LS3. that we
Well, it
talked
is.
about
They
before.
say this is the most hoard out chassis.
Yeah, it is. It's literally. It's like
I don't
there's
think
not
there's
an
a
engine
chassis-
in existence that hasn't passed through this car.
Yeah.
It's like It's like the horror of
engine
cars.
swaps. Yeah.
It's like anything that can possibly get in there. The fact that they mentioned that VQ35 has been in that car, like why would anybody ever?
It's had turbo diesels. It's had rotaries. It's had.
That's everything.
Yeah, everything.
Anything you can imagine. It's had 4AG, SR20s.
Yeah, 4H. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's had
Oh,
whatchamacallit it? What's the Eclipse motor? The
Oh,
Yeah.
4G63.
4G63. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I've seen all that.
All right.
Number 5.
Ooh,
G35.
okay, G35. Okay,
Well, that's
all
a
right.
smart idea.
I think
yeah.
the 350 will be probably next.
Okay.
Right, it makes
I think
sense.
I think the 370Z will be in the top 3.
Okay.
All right,
It's a
so what does
favorite
it say?
choice among beginners because of its low weight, which is
That's
the
not
opposite.
really true.
You're an idiot.
3,500
What?
pounds is low weight.
It's the fattest of them all.
So, okay.
That's like it doesn't make any sense. It's low weight. This is literally the heaviest car on this
on the list
on the list
because of its low weight.
It's low weight. It's the
30
fattest car, and it's low center of gravity. Oh my god, who is this guy?
Yeah, because my E30 weighs 2,800 pounds.
Oh hey, that's
Stock.
that guy.
Is that
That's
is that
Drift.
OSW? No.
That's the Smoky Drift guy.
Who's that?
That's the guy. I swear that's the guy that photoshopped himself closer to Adam or somebody on, or maybe it was Matt the Ginge on the skid pad.
It's Matt the Ginge.
Ginge? Matt the Ginge.
Yeah, there's
Whatever.
some other person that thought it was something else, but it's not. He's wrong. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. But that's not.
correct me if I'm
That's
wrong.
that's a Z. That's
Yeah,
not.
that's a Z,
I was just gonna
right?
say, wait a minute. That's not
Yeah,
a,
that's a Z.
G35.
No, that is a Z. Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
man.
that's
Yeah,
Smoky
there
Drift.
is a lot of red flags with this article.
Yeah.
A lot of red flags, but okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
Okay.
And made decent power.
Oh,
to
see,
the-
Number
there you go.
four.
I,
Oh,
you're right,
I didn't think
yeah.
it was gonna make the top 3, but
Number 4.
I know the 370 will probably make the top 3. Number 4.
Number 4.
Yep. Which it
Okay.
is. It is, but again, the prices. I don't know where they're checking this. I wonder where this. I really would like to know where this person lives
All right.
that wrote the article. All right. So
Oh,
if you're
maybe
looking
send them
for
an email
a
or something.
cheap drift car, I mean their definition of cheap and my definition of cheap are way two different things.
Exactly.
Can be driven almost right out of the box. The Nissan 350Z is your jam. Does that say jam? Yeah, it does. Right?
Yep.
Oh, I'm just so small from where I'm trying to read it here. You'd be hard pressed to find. You'd be hard pressed to find another car that can go from mild to wild so quickly at a cost of $1,500. All right, so just missed the mark of top 3, but didn't make the top 4. Oh, E9. That is not a good drift car.
E90.
An E90.
Really? Why do you say
Another
that?
great choice for a beginner who
just
wants
the
to build
rear
a
end
drift car.
sucks. Try to get grip out of the rear end's not that great.
Yeah, but
Ah.
we're talking about beginner car, right? So it doesn't really need to be.
Yeah, but why? I mean, but
Well, at least they didn't say for its low weight.
I don't know. Did it? I don't know.
No, hold on. It's
It's got
becoming
a
more
good power,
popular as
though.
a basic two Pro. I don't get that. What does that make sense? That's not worded right, right?
Great
Am I-
choice for a beginner who wants to build a drift car. This car has some serious potential for its low price. I mean,
But this is the part that I couldn't I don't understand.
and
It
it's
is becoming more popular as
popular.
a basic two.
Basic to pro, like from basic to pro.
Oh, basic two Pro
drift
Okay, I
car
get it.
in the drifting community, which
Okay.
not really. Well, the rear end sucks.
Go down.
The dynamics of the rear end sucks. Who do they have driving? I don't know who that is. Okay.
Okay, it's got that classic BMW styling,
Oh,
but with more
it's a left-
power
Yeah.
under the hood. You can upgrade this engine for 800 horsepower.
It
Blah,
does
blah,
have a good
blah,
power plant. I mean, the motor I think is pretty good.
Okay, number 2.
Isn't it the B58?
No, it's not the B58.
No, I don't
It's
know.
like an N54 or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, numero dos.
370. No. Oh.
S14.
And that's 14.
What?
Well,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I
You can't
was
go wrong with
surprised to
it.
see that there, but I guess the prices are going. This is kind
They're
of
going
accurate.
down, actually.
Actually, I've
getting
seen some pretty
cheaper.
decent like.
Prices on
There's a
240.
lot of good projects out there. for under the 10 grand mark that
Yeah,
somebody
the
can really
prices are
scoop.
going down.
Prices
Where?
are going down on Facebook
On
Marketplace.
Facebook
I've been,
Marketplace, there's
I'm
a
always
lot
on
of
there,
good
and I'm like,
deals
wow,
out
that's
there.
not a bad deal.
No.
I don't even think that Mustang I sent you was a bad deal. The guy had 800 horsepower in it.
No, I'm not. What? It's just a freaking fast car. Like it's not.
Yeah, but it's still it's got potential.
Yeah, it's just
Suspension
you got to put a lot more money into it to make it drift.
just the rear end of the power plant's
I
done.
don't know, whatever.
I don't know. Just
Anyways,
fuck.
240. Yeah, you can pick it up for easily 19 grand. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well,
S14.
not much to read about the S14.
What was
Okay, take a guess as to let's take a guess as to what's number one.
370Z.
The 370Z. You say the 370,
I say
Paul?
370.
370.
Cheap car.
No.
That's driftable.
no. The
For great for
370s are
beginners.
expensive. 370s are expensive.
I'm surprised I haven't seen RX-7 on there, but I guess they don't like the rotaries.
No,
Yeah, that's true
it's-
too.
I don't know.
Well, no, pick one. You gotta pick
I'm gonna
something.
go with the S13.
Mm-hmm.
Or what about the Scion FRS?
No.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
good
would
too,
think.
yeah.
That's actually You could drift that car out of the box.
All right, so what do
Right.
you think? 370Z, Scion FRS, or what was it when you said?
S13.
S13?
Right.
It's one of those three. It's got to be.
Okay.
Let's
Let's
see.
find out. S15. Oh gosh.
Okay, so that's okay. None of us saw that because, like, really?
Like what? S15.
Okay, so definitely article was not written in the States.
Yeah, this is somewhere. I don't even know where you have an S15. Obviously. This
Where?
is the
Yeah, I
newer
don't know.
one.
I would have thought for sure the
S15
370
easily
would have been
good
up there.
condition. Well, it is a great drift car. That's a definite fact.
Yeah, but really, the FRS should have made that list.
yeah,
I agree with that.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
definitely replaced. What car? do
go
you think
down
should-
a little bit more. I want to see what else they say about it.
But it's like they posted the same car up twice. S14,
The,
S15.
be-
It's like
the best thing about these cars is they're cheap. What? But don't feel cheap. Oh, they
they do.
feel cheap. Like Nissans feel the cheapest,
Yeah.
especially those era of Nissans.
Well, especially the 350Zs.
Oh, there. Yeah.
But don't tell that to Gabby though.
No. Listen, I don't miss the car. It was great and served its purpose.
Right.
But
and I
it's
had
not a
fun
car
in-
that you ever miss.
I don't miss it. Like I don't ever look. It's like, oh man, should I have sold it? And I'm like, even though I'm not driving, I'm still not upset I sold it.
No, it's
It's just
good.
it's just not a car I fell in love with.
nope.
Hang on. Let's see. The SR20DE is a pretty good engine on its own, but if you really want to get some power out of it, you probably need at least a turbocharger upgrade or even a supercharger.
I don't know why you would do that, but okay.
Yeah,
well,
I don't.
That was the ending I was not expecting.
Yeah, that was a bit of a downer.
Yeah, it's all Nissan, man. How do you feel about that, Ben?
Well,
there was only,
evidently,
wait. There was only one Toyota in that whole lineup.
Was it? Oh yeah, I think there was.
Yeah, the Chaser. That's it.
Yeah, and a couple of BMWs too.
Actually, 4 BMWs.
Yeah,
4 BMWs and all Nissan.
yeah, it's kind of dominated by BMWs.
Yeah, actually, it is.
Yeah, they should have thrown the 8.6 in there, or the,
Yeah.
I mean not the 8.6, but you know
The FRS
the
or the
FRS
BRZ.
or
Absolutely.
GR86, whatever you want to call
So
it.
how does that make you feel?
Frustrating. It just only adds to the multiple set of red flags that I saw throughout the article. How every car there was cheap. How 22,000 is apparently cheap. I mean, that's
Besides-
news to me.
So besides the FRS, the Chaser's already on there. What other Toyota vehicle would you place on that list?
What other Toyota vehicle would I place on
Well,
that
hell,
list?
if you're saying $22,000 is cheap, I mean, why don't you just put freaking Supra on there
Yeah, pretty much.
The new Supra?
for $70,000?
No, not the new one. I
old
mean,
one.
the Mark III, the Mark
Yeah,
IV.
that's 70 grand. We're talking, okay, under $30,000. What Toyota cars you think could make that list? Because does Toyota really have that many great drift cars besides the 8.6, the
You can do a
Chaser?
Mark III. Mark III Supra. It's not bad.
No, that's horrible.
They're not horrible.
They're not good.
They're not good, but they're not horrible.
They're not fun and
IS300.
So
That's
the-
actually interesting.
No,
This is an
IS300
interesting point. Nissan makes more.
No.
And I don't
hold on,
like
hold-
this. I don't
hold
like
on,
this
hold
fact.
on, hold on.
Be- what?
The IS300s work great with the YSF.
IS300.
Right.
Okay.
SC300s.
Okay.
great.
See, all right.
GS300s ain't bad.
Okay.
The LS400
Actually, the LS400.
slid pretty awesome.
Yeah. And
So-
they're light.
Yeah. So
A
LS400
lot lighter than what I thought. What did I can't remember his name with the red LS400.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Mike
Who?
Jones,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mike Jones. He said that car was actually really light.
Yeah, I would say Toyota definitely has a decent amount.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Because
yeah,
I was
no.
forgetting those for a second. I was like, BMW and Nissan are taking over the market. You know, Toyota. What do you got? But they have plenty of good cars out there.
Plenty of good cars.
Actually, the SC300 should have made that list. The SC300, I think you can
I
get
think-
those
I
fairly
think-
cheap.
I think the problem is with a lot of them is that the work that you have to do to get them into a solid performer for drifting purposes is a bit much for a lot of people to take in. So, for instance, like the Mark III Supra, you have to go through this crazy task of making it light in order to be able to make it a good performer. The fact that it's just so heavy, the Mark III is actually heavier than the Mark IV from the factory.
crazy.
Just kind of gives you an idea of like how much work you got to put into it to make it light enough where it's going to be decent or fun for you to work with. And then the SC300, that's another heavyweight.
Well, you just
And-
change the doors. You're good
Well, yeah,
for the
but
most part.
you've seen a lot of people just go to the extent of just trying to make it light, and I just think it doesn't help to that. The manual transmission was very limited
Yeah,
on the non-turbos, and the fact that if you want to make power out of a JZ, everybody knows you got to turbocharge it.
yeah, that's the difference with the BMWs. You can still find a lot of them manual.
Yeah.
I mean, as far
That's
as
true.
turnkey, right off the bat, BMWs are really hard to beat. 350Cs are incredibly hard to beat. I don't know how you really can beat that car for driving, just drifting. G35s. and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So
Well, that was there. I got to do some research and find out exactly
who
where's-
Richard Reynolds is.
Richard Reynolds
Click Richard
is-
Reynolds. Click his name.
does that was
Usually it has like a little
bio.
bio of where he is.
Oh,
Oh, he looks pretty pissed.
he does look pissed.
He looks angry.
Where is he? Does it say? I can't read it from here.
Ryan Reynolds is a writer with over 5 years' experience in various niches, including cars, marketing, SaaS. Okay, that's weird. He specializes in automotive articles.
Found it.
Oh,
Thailand. Well, yeah, he looks like he's from Thailand.
what the freaking hell?
Well, that was
Well, that explains everything.
Thailand. I would have not have guessed he's from Thailand.
And he has an E30. He got an E30 that he's restoring. That's why the E30 made the list.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
that
he's
makes
got
sense.
class. I'll give him that.
He's currently building his dream farm with his family in Thailand. Man, maybe that's what I can do. I can go build a dream farm
In Thailand with an E30.
with an E30.
There you go.
That could be me. I
Life
could be
goals.
Richard Reynolds.
You could be Richard Reynolds.
Writing I can write the better article than that.
Yeah, I think you can. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. You just had me thinking about just some of the other Toyota chassis. I mean, the other. I mean, I was just surprised the newer, all the different generation Miatas that wasn't brought up.
Well-
why just stick with just one? You have the NA, the MB, the NC.
Nobody ever messes with them, It's like so weird. It's like nobody ever I don't see that many of the versions that Ryan used to drive.
Yeah, they
That's
go with
the NB, I think.
No. I thought the NB was the flip light.
No, that's NA.
NA?
Yeah.
Okay. NB Miata is the
The
even the
fix-it light.
MX-5. The new MX-5 is nice. I think it's a good looking car.
Yeah, it is. But
Yeah,
if
the
you, because I actually did this a couple of years back and I priced it out, the Miata with the FRS, because they were the same markets, competitors, and so forth. Out of the gate, it's the FRS is more ideal for drift purposes compared to the Miata based on the cost alone. Because if you wanted to get a differential from the factory for the Miata,
Right.
you have to upgrade to a certain level, which ends up being a lot more, ends up being more expensive compared to the FRS.
Really?
I actually like the Fiat more. Which is
The
a-
Fiat
yeah.
124 Spider?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing looks cool.
What happened to the Saturn Sky? That was pretty cool.
The
Saturn
twins.
Was it in the
business.
Solstice?
So
Yes.
it went out of business.
No, I know Saturn went out of
Pontiac
business.
went out of business.
Well, I mean, they're still out there.
yeah, it's still existent. Yeah.
I mean, that was out in Formula Drift for a while. That car was a rocket back
How
then.
come the Chevy SS isn't on that list? Come on now.
Nobody knows his rear-wheel drive, probably.
Or nobody knows that it actually came over here.
Yeah. Wonder who that is. All right.
Oh, boy.
Why aren't
okay.
there weren't any freaking Chargers and Challengers and
That's a good one.
There was
There was that one
Sam
guy.
Hubinette. Didn't he drive a Charger?
Yeah, but there was somebody actually Fuel Fest. Remember that guy?
Yes, the red one.
drove that red Charger.
Yeah, it did do good though.
I didn't do bad.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I was on the stage.
He wasn't doing horrible. Yeah, you didn't see.
I drove one time at the skip pad.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great exercise of just dealing with all that mass and just
Yeah, it's a big car. It's a big vehicle.
it's just
talk about
wrangling that thing from left to right. And I'm just like, how is this even working?
Right.
And the crazy part about it is that there's no way for you to disable the traction control completely unless you buy an aftermarket, some sort of aftermarket piggyback ECU.
No, if it's a Hellcat, you could probably do it.
Well, yeah, Hellcats can come with that though.
All right, but this was like
Base
This
model.
was before Hellcat.
no, it had a Hemi in it.
It was before the Hellcat stuff
Right.
came out.
Yeah,
Before they really started making them like performance cars.
right.
What's the worst car you ever drifted? That
Worst
you were just
car?
like, this is miserable.
miserable? Oh man, there's so many. That's
Because you drove everybody else's car.
Your Z4,
My Z4 wasn't bad.
that was bad.
No.
no. I mean, there was
You just had to like work because I didn't have had an open diff, so you just kind of had to
That's
work
a
the
tough
steering.
question only because
Once Ben told me, "Hey, listen, you got to do this with the steering wheel," I was able to go around the track, no problem.
Okay. I can't say that. It's not an easy question because there was many bad ones for different reasons. So for instance, Sam's RX-7, FC RX-7, that was bad because that had no power steering and it was on like some heavy 17-inch wheels. So you need to be able to like bench press 500 pounds
Okay.
in order for you to
Right.
be able to just turn
Right. So that was all about
the
setup.
car.
Yeah, that wasn't so much a car, but more
and
setup.
I was just thinking about my thought process towards it is that, oh, maybe I could get the car sideways with just the throttle because that's what I would normally do if a car had no power steering. I would just rely more on the throttle to kind of get the
You're talking about
the
an
drift
FC?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, the FC.
Yeah, my FC was horrible.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
the next one. What's
FC's pretty
another
bad.
one that comes to
A
mind?
stock FC is bad.
All right. So next one,
yeah.
next car comes to mind.
And I think the other thing about it was I think the turbo lag didn't help either.
Well, he
That
didn't
and
have
they have a toe issue. They have to get like these
yeah, the
toe
rear toe
eliminators.
stir eliminators. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Another one that was a bit of a problem, and that was this is kind of expected, was Pep's S2000.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah,
a nightmare.
that was all. But that's all set up too.
Yeah, and that was because he had like all these different parts. I think he tried to put an S13
Rear end, yeah, subframe,
steering rack
something like that. Yeah.
onto it with some other parts, and I'm just like, this isn't like really working out pretty well. So that was that. Another car that was pretty bad was what's this guy? Jason. Was it Jason Giovanni?
Jason Giovanni's blue.
That's
Blue
Fox Mod?
86.
Box mod.
No,
Not Jason Giovanni. No, Jason,
Jason
Guild.
Jason
Jason Guild.
Jason Guild. Right.
Oh, his 8.6. You drove that?
I drove it, and the thing about it is that when I drove it, it really explained why he drove it the way that he did. Because remember how he would go into the entry to initiate the drift, how wild it would be.
Yeah.
How he just like fling it like from left to right just to
yeah.
kind of get the car going.
It was
It's because
front heavy.
Well, he had the
well,
one
on
UZ
top
in
of
it.
that, he had just this weird concoction of a suspension setup. It was like S13 part from here, from another car, and then it just
Yeah.
wasn't working together well. And it was crazy heavy on the understeer from the offset that you needed to go with a crazy initiation just to get it to initiate.
Brunella Z30.
Oh, I didn't drive that.
That one was bad.
Oh, you drove that?
No, I remember Tim tried to drive it. I think.
No,
No?
I never tried to drive it. No.
Or Esty tried to drive it. One of those guys.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think they want to try to drive it.
What
It
a
was
Paul's E30? How'd that go for you?
Well, that was a different challenge
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
stupid seating position. And then luckily, though, he was there on the passenger seat to catch the wheel as it escaped my hands. And we fell into the forest.
yeah.
Grab the steering
That's
wheel.
funny.
It's like, oh, I got
So
this.
you'd have to say the Jason's was the worst.
I wouldn't say it was the worst, but because once you actually get it going, then you could actually slide it. But
Last one. What's the last one that comes to
I
mind?
think of
another one, there was I'm sure it was a 240. somewhat.
Okay.
I just can't remember why because
What
there's
about
just so
your
many.
MR2? Because you slid that around a couple times. That
No, it was only like one time, and it was only because the conditions were right,
yeah.
meaning that the track was wet enough for me to actually get something going.
Right, because the power and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that. There was also this other car. Remember Icky's
Oh,
was it an E36 or
it was,
E30?
it was an E36 with the Ford Mustang.
The Ford Mustang.
Yeah, I tried that. That was miserable.
Right. It wasn't the best, but yeah, it wasn't fun. I remember that. I want to say it's the worst, but I will say it was not fun.
Okay, so you don't
That
have the
was
worst.
But again, like I said, it's just one of those like it was.
It's not so much the cars; it's the
Ralph's Miata.
I never drove that. I did drive his KA86. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
no.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think. Like, there must have been a 240 that I drove that I hated because of the suspension setup. Could have been like, oh, like he was running positive somewhere where he wasn't supposed to.
Which is a great way to just like kind of key back to Chelsea's class on some of the most difficult cars that you drove. It wasn't the chassis that were the problem. It was the suspension setups. The geometry of the suspension or whatever it was, Frankensteining different things together that made it difficult to drive.
I'll give you one.
Oh.
I'll give you one that just hit me right now that I was just it. Not only was it one of the worst, it was also one of the most frustrating cars to drive. So remember Dorby?
Yes.
Remember
S2000.
Dorby? But yes, he had the S2000. But at one point, he had a Cookie S14, a green one.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He had one. It was dropped, big wheels on it. Whatever. It wasn't really meant to slide. It seemed more like a show car. He sold it. Yeah, he sold it to somebody, and that somebody brought it out to the event one time, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." I drove it. It was miserable because it was just so low that every time that you would try to go get it sideways, it would just rub on everything.
Okay.
And you couldn't.
But that goes back to setup.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was just rub on everything, and then you couldn't really do much with it. So one of the first things I told him is like either you raise up the car because it's way too low, it's ridiculously low, or you just go with a different set of wheels or tires because you're really not going to get far with this because it's not meant to be drifted.
Right.
And
Never saw it again.
I never saw it again because I think the owner just got frustrated with it, either with the car, with drifting in general, or just lost interest and then just decided to move on to something else.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, it's just something I would probably have to circle back to. Just
Yeah, no, there was a lot of cars that we had. It would mostly likely be something that came during like a skid pad event.
Yeah, the three most painful to watch cars that look like were a struggle from going to county line was Jacob and that freaking Nissan 200 SX.
Yeah, that
one
300S
or 300 whatever it was. Yeah,
yes, you're right.
that
The
was
Z31, right?
Z31, yeah, the Z31.
God.
That looked miserable.
Right.
Just looked miserable every time I saw it.
Okay.
Most of people, I don't want names, but he doesn't watch the same. But Jerry's Supra
Oh yeah,
just looked like he just couldn't get traction.
He eventually got it though.
Yeah, but it's still, when he got it, it still wasn't like, oh my gosh, he's killing it. It it looked like that car was, I don't know, he looked like he was always fighting that car. And then the other one, the last one is going to be, I just had it. It was that Jerry's Supra. Oh, the S2000. That's every time. Dorby's.
Okay.
Dorby's and I mean,
not Dorby's.
Peps was miserable.
Peps was the
but
one.
basically any S2000 that came out just always looked like it was miserable to watch. Like just like looked like it was a challenge.
How about
Those are three worst cars I remember.
What's his name crashed his FD at the skid pad?
FD at the skid pad.
Yeah, it was the guy that builds Pettit. Pettit was out driving.
That's right. He did hit his
got into
FD.
drifting in a little bit.
Yeah, he did hit.
And then he crashed his FD in the skid pad, and then that was the last time.
Yeah, the worst crash that we had at the skid pad was Nino.
Nino, yeah.
Miata.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now that we're talking about like cars that looked bad from the outsider perspective, was this guy named Phil part of ROK back in the day.
So.
And he was driving an Infiniti M20.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah,
I
it was
remember that
rear wheel
thing.
drive. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that car, but I don't remember watching its
M30.
try slide.
M30,
M30,
I think
the
it is.
M30.
Was it
yeah.
an M30?
Yeah, because the
It's
M20 is
M30.
front wheel drive.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I don't even know if there's an M20, but I know this. I think it's M30.
Is it M20? Is that what
I
you
think
had?
it's
No, we
M30.
did the G30. The G. What the hell was that?
G20.
The G20 is what I was
yeah.
thinking of. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's M30. It's that weird convertible thing.
it's supposed to be like a
box thing.
240 apparently.
But it
underneath.
had trailing arm rear end, not 240 rear end.
Well,
So it was a little different. That one was weird. I think what else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are the three most miserable ones I remember
There's
watching.
a lot of bad cars out there.
Like that were like consistent. Anytime I saw those cars, because I think somebody else tried to come out with that 300Z that Jacob had, and it was miserable. And anytime somebody it looked good. Ahmed had the nicest looking Super that came out because it was slammed, but it was so slammed he would spin out a lot. He was struggling with that too.
Yeah.
So those MK3 Supers were just not ideal. Even what's his face with the Barra in it? He looks like he's always fighting that car.
Forgot his name now. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
from SCNS.
I hate
Yeah,
those
Motorsports.
cars. I mean,
I just don't. think,
I hate
MK3.
those cars.
yeah, I know. I like the way they look, like drag
Slammed
style,
to hell.
slam to hell, like going top line, running on the highway. I think they look beautiful, but sideways, there's certain cars I just.
No, it doesn't look good sideways. It looks good as a drag car slammed to the ground, not as a drift car.
Yeah. Anyhow, what do you think? What else? It's 11:40.
No, I think that's pretty much covered everything that we wanted to cover. I think that was. Now you have me trying to go back to the Rolodex of all of the vehicles that I've encountered throughout the years and just trying to see exactly like what were some of the
There
worst.
was a lot of them, man. There's a lot of them. I'm sure stuff will pop in your head.
I'm sure Paul witnessed an RX-8, a blue one time.
Blue one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole time crashing. I witnessed that one crashing on the wall. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was.
We thought he had the traction control off, and the whole time we found out no, it really wasn't all the way off.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there.
Yep.
Oh, well. Mysteries of life. But in
Mysteries
any
of life.
case, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in and bearing with us with all the technical difficulties. Hopefully next time around, this neighborhood will have its resources in check and order. So that way we don't have to struggle like we did. But in any case, we hope to catch you next time. Until then, take care and good night.